Maybe this is how. Maybe this is how. Oh, that worked. That genuinely worked. Okay. I think we're actually live and cooking. Oh no, it's unlisted. Then I also want to start recording as well, and I want to check how much space I have. 295 gigs. I think that's going to be enough for that. I think that is going to be enough. To be honest. I think that's going to be enough. That's fine. Save. Okay. Okay, everybody. I think we're actually cooking here. Which is genuinely, genuinely wonderful news. That's way too many tabs open. Holy cow. Let me just close. I don't want to close all of these. Do I close these as well? Yes, these can all go. Morning. Okay, I think the chat is working. I think we're going strong here, guys. What's good, everyone? You know what? You want to see something crazy? Like right now. Are you ready? Wow. Just in case you were wondering who is active. There we go. Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing? You might be wondering, what the flip is this? Okay. And that would be, you'd be fair enough asking something like that. But I'll tell you what it is. I really will. Let me first of all just do this. Just lower this chat a little bit so no one gets cut off. Perfect. That's actually perfect. Look at that. I can go through the chat. How amazing is that? Okay, let me explain what's going on. I thought I wanted to do a little live stream, right? Where I just tell some stories live from Reddit, and yeah, do them live. I've never done this before. I don't think I've done like a stories to sleep to episode before. So let me know first of all, is the sound all good? Is the audio all good? Before we get into some stories. I think it looks all good on my end. But if you could let me know in the chat what's going on. I also want to record this locally, and I think I've done that now as well. So I think we can now get going. Everything looks good. Okay. A little bit of the chat is getting cut off, which is not ideal. So I'll be fixing that immediately. There we go. Mic muted. Now I know you're taking the mic, mate, because it's not, is it? It's just not. Will there be strippers? Asks Pekka Paputi. No. Sadly not. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love there to be. I really would. I just don't think it's right for a stream like this to have strippers. I'm sorry, I just don't think it's right. Yeah, you're on screen. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I managed to work out a way to put the live chat on screen. Where's good? That looks good to me. That looks strong. Just does. Anyway, so what I'm going to do actually, okay, I'll actually stop taking the piss. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just chill out for a few hours and just read some stories. And the good thing about doing this live is I can see your comments on screen. So, it's going to be great. It really is. Now, I had a story ready, which I've lost, which is a shame. Not quite sure why, but let me find one. I had one ready to go from Entitled Parents, no less. So let me just set that up. And then once I've done that, we can just get going. Now, I'm going to make this into like an actual episode as well, like an edited episode. So this is sort of a behind the scenes as well for you guys that are here right now watching this live. So hopefully you enjoy it. And if you do, then I'll do something like this again in future. If you don't, then I'm going to be honest, I'll probably do something like this again in future. It's down to me. Do I enjoy it or not? Because life is all about looking at yourself and being selfish. Just remember that. Okay? Well, that out of the way, let me try and lock into this. Let me just try and lock in. How is everyone, by the way? All good? Awesome sauce. I wonder what crazy stories we'll encounter. Well, let me tell you, they will be crazy. I've got a couple of scenes set up. Does this work? Oh, I mean, just look at that and talk to me. What's good, by the way, in terms of like sizing? Is that good? Is that too big? That looks a little bit too big to me. Maybe it's all right. I think this is good. I think this size is good. I think I like that a lot. Can we make it a touch bigger? No, that will do. A bit too big? Yeah, I think maybe this is good. I think maybe this is good. Okay, sweet. Let's get into it. So before I start, I'm going to actually, I'm going to do an intro. So you're going to see this like behind the scenes intro. Perfect size? Great. I've heard that before. But, let's go. Let's go. I'm just going to lower the chat a little bit more. I just want it to be lowered a little bit. You know what? I don't want it to be lowered. It looks good. I take that back. Let's make it bigger. Because I want, like, it's all about you lot being in the stream as well. I want to see your interactions and see what you're saying about these stories. So without further ado, let's begin. And I just hope this is recording. If not, actually it's fine. We can always take the live stream from the actual live stream itself. Okay, let's go. What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to a special video, a special episode, one that I've never done before. As you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, over here, we've got some wonderful people in a live chat. That is because I am recording this live. What you're about to see and listen to is a few hours of live Reddit stories that hopefully will send you to sleep, or at least help you relax. I'm doing this live, so I'm going to be interacting with some of you guys, some of my subscribers as we go, getting your thoughts on these stories. But apart from that, it's going to be completely normal. I'm just doing this all in one take. So that means it's a few hours of brand new stories as well. No compilations, no stories you've heard before. These are fresh stories. So if you enjoy these episodes, these Reddit stories to sleep to, it's been my most successful series, potentially ever actually, with some of the episodes getting almost 1 million views. Then sit back, relax, lock in. Let's get in to the first one. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how you do an intro in one take. So there you go. You can say hello to YouTube as well, because whenever we come back to that screen, I'll be on this screen the majority of the time. But whenever we go back to this screen, wow, you'll be there. So no swearing as well, guys. Okay? Don't take the piss. Even though I suppose I did indirectly swear there. Let's go. First story. And as I said, throughout all of this, I want to hear your thoughts. Okay. Also, if you don't have a drink or anything, go and get one. All right. Okay, what better place to start off than an r/entitled people? Entitled men leaving their drinks on our table didn't expect us to fight back until we did. So, I got into a fight with 2 people tonight. The reason in itself was very dumb, but God, I was just tired of it. I met up today with 2 friends, Clara and Jenny. We went out to a bar and sat on one of the tables outside. There was a TV on the bar, so there were many people watching a football match with different drinks. We got our drinks, and after a while, a man came, left his drink on our table and left. We looked at each other like, what the heck? The bar is literally 5 feet apart, and there weren't even that many people. He could have easily put his glass there instead of on our table, but whatever. I'm trying to think. Do I just take my headphones off? I will do after this story. Why not? That's Toy Bonnie. That's a really good point, by the way. That really is. In case you're not sure what Toy Bonnie just said, bang, there you go. Look at that. That's great. You can just see it right there. You can't see it that easily unless I do that. I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get back to it. Okay. We kept talking and drinking, and after a while, there was another man who left his finished drink at our table. I can leave this here, right? He asked. He didn't even wait for our answer and left. Again, what the heck? We were annoyed, but whatever. Then came a polite guy, and he asked us if he could leave his drink on our table for a bit because he was waiting for a friend. It was cold, and his hands were freezing. We said, yeah, of course you can, man, no worries. He even offered to put it on the floor if it annoyed us, but we had no problem with it. Gave the drink to his friend, thanked us, then they left. And after a while, another drink was left on our table. The guy didn't even look at us, he just put it there, and it was obvious it wasn't finished. So I had enough. It may seem petty, but you aren't sitting on this table, therefore you can't really use it. If he'd asked us if he could leave it there for a moment like the previous guy, we would have had no problem, but he didn't. Rude. So, there we go. There we go. A little bit of an error there, guys. I'm capable, don't worry. So, I took the drink, got up, walked towards him, and offered it to him. Excuse me, this is yours, I said. He replied, what the? Is it bothering you that much? Yeah, it is. It hasn't been the first time, and we aren't the bar. If you're finished with your drink, the bar is 5 feet away from you. A friend of his took the man's drink and put both his and his friend's drink on our table just to annoy us. So I got up, I grabbed the drinks, and I took them to the bar. I knew they weren't finished, and I knew they'd be annoyed, but that is what happens when I ran out of patience. I don't care anymore. They said I was being ridiculous while I walked away, and when I came back, Clara was yelling at one of them and tugging on one of the men's arms. Oh, okay. I then saw she had my umbrella in her hand perhaps, and I realized that while I was returning the drinks, they had tried to steal my umbrella and Clara was getting it back for me. Jenny had been in shock, but at that, she started arguing as well. They got more and more rude, saying how we had no manners when I'd been nothing but polite with them. It was only when they yelled at us that we started to yell back at them. We kept telling them it wasn't their table, and that if it was only for a moment, they could have asked us, and we wouldn't have minded at all. At one point, to anger us, one of them got dirty cans that had been on the floor and put them on our table. I threw them away while still arguing with them. One of their friends apologized to us and looked so embarrassed. Yeah, you should be. Like, what are your mates doing? They went away for a bit, and one of them came back for more, until we pointed out how he was a grown 50-year-old man harassing and arguing with women in their 20s over a table and a drink. The friend that had been supporting knew at that moment that they were embarrassing themselves because he came back and told him, come on man, you're an adult. If you want to watch the football match on the TV, then fine. And if you want to get a drink and there aren't any tables left, that's a you problem. If they'd asked like the third polite guy, we wouldn't have minded. But instead, they blew it up because that's how drunk and bored they were. There were even people on our side telling them to leave us alone. I feel a bit silly now that I have a more clear head for how I behaved. But God, I was just so tired of people using our table as if it was theirs at that moment. I never insulted them, by the way. When I say I screamed at them, I mean that I kept remarking how it was our table and to leave us alone. And there we go. That is the end of story 1. OP has left an edit, which I'll get into though. Edit. I'm seeing a lot of comments saying the staff should have done something or wondering why we didn't tell them. First of all, in my country, there aren't bouncers at bars. They are at discos. The concept of drinking here is very different to the American one. In my country, it's very normal to see parents drinking peacefully at a bar while their children play on a nearby park, or for their children to join them and have a soda or a non-alcoholic drink. It's normal for people to be at a bar with friends at 11 a.m. It's normal for people to be at a bar with friends at 11 a.m. on a Saturday and having a drink with them. Secondly, most people who were outside drinking would go to the bar, get the drink, pay for it, then leave and drink it outside. Finally, it was busier inside than outside, and there weren't many workers, and the ones who were working were doing everything at once, with some of them acting as both waiters and bartenders. It wasn't very crowded, but there was still a lot of people they had to take care of. They probably didn't even see or hear what was going on outside due to how many people were inside. They were just two drunk, idiotic men, and we were able to handle them. It all happened pretty fast anyways. Second edit and final edit. I've seen some people say that it's a public table. We weren't at the long bar table where people usually leave their drinks so that the bartenders can get them from the other side to clean them. We were outside at a small square table, and said table had 4 chairs for people to sit down on. Imagine you go to a restaurant to have lunch with your family. You get served your first plate, and a stranger suddenly puts his drink on your table. That is the kind of table we were on, but smaller. And there we go. That is the end of the first story of this episode, and that gets an upvote from me. Now I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below, but also live right now. What do you think? What do you think of these people? Somebody said in the comments of my episode live, Techie Harkfuck, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It sounds a little bit rude, but you know what I mean. One thing I like to assume, oh, I didn't even say that right. One thing I like to use in life, let me just get out of the way so we can see this. One thing I like to use in life, never assume things about someone else in public. It usually doesn't end well. And this dude saw firsthand why that is the case. George just said a very rude word. Now, I'm just not sure if I can include that in this. Maybe I'd have to do some settings here. Let me see. I feel like I could probably do moderation activity. What happens when I do this? Moderation activity will be shown. Oh, no one cares. Maybe just try not to swear is all I'll say. But if you have to swear, whatever. I mean, it's funny. I laughed. Anyway, let's go back on this. Okay. I mean, I'm actually the first person to pronounce the name right. I will take that. I really will. Now, let me give my thoughts on this story. Yeah, it's just annoying. Like, I don't know. It's not necessarily even entitled in my opinion. It's just like being annoying for the sake of being annoying. I don't really know what they're gaining from doing this, but you do see this quite often. It is like, it's very weird and creepy when it happens out and about. It's like older guys, like much older guys, just after they have a few beers or whatever, they just become super weird with young girls in particular. I don't know what the reason for that is. It's just strange. I don't like it. I think it's pretty disgusting. Like, I don't really know what benefit you have from putting your glass on a table and not putting it just at the bar. I don't know. I suppose like you don't want to hold it, but what's wrong with just holding your glass for a bit? Like, I would just be standing there holding my glass. I wouldn't put it down, just drink out of it. It's weird. Yeah, Isabel sums it up pretty well. It's annoying, not worth reacting. People will do it more. That's probably the case. I mean, is it that bad having someone just leave their drink on your table? Probably not, you could say. So, there you go. I have a feeling that they were just trying to make things faster by forcing someone else to get rid of their drinks or something. I don't quite know. It's hard to predict. Yeah, that's probably true. And then Mr. Slime Smasher says, accidentally knock it off the table. Maybe that would have been the final play. But there we go. That is it for the first story. Let's jump into the second. Okay, pretty good. Pretty good. And now I can have a little sing. So like, you can kind of see I'm recording this live because my plan is to make it into its own episode. But I'm doing like, well, sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm obviously doing a live stream, but I want to make it into its own like standalone video as well. So that's why it's a little bit like this, I suppose. I'm gonna get warm here. I might have to remove all my clothing. What a shame that would be. All right, let's do another entitled parent story, I reckon. Isabel is loving it. Well, you know what, Isabel? That is great to hear. It really is. Yeah, exactly. So you'll watch this later. well, if you want to watch this later, you can watch it, and it will be, yeah, you'll see it like without this bit, for example. I don't know how long I want the actual episode to be. Maybe like an hour would be good, actually. I think doing it for like 3 hours, I'd have to record, I have to do live for like 4 hours, and I'm just chatting like this, which isn't going to make it into the video, so that's not going to happen. Oh, I wonder if I can just take my headphones off. Yeah, why not? I won't speak too loudly. Why am I doing this late? Because I have to do it late, because that's when people are going to sleep. Like, you got to remember, a lot of my audience, in fact the vast majority, are American or like Canadian. I'm obviously British, but I'm on a pretty late sleep schedule anyway, so it's not the end of the world for me. And yeah, I can't exactly do it at like 4 p.m. If I do it at 10 p.m. my time, it's the latest it is 5 p.m. in the US, which is not really going to sleep time, you know? I know, Toy, it's crazy. Who would have known that? Pekka is hearing a maybe for strippers. Yeah, not sure about that. Slime Smasher. I'm not gonna read every message, but I can't read them all. But I'll have a look through. There aren't too many of you here, so it won't be that hard to catch all your messages. But yeah, exactly. The stream is named Stories to Sleep To. There you go. I might just have a look at my own channel, see how it looks before we get into the second story here. Make sure everything looks good. When you do a reaction, does it pop? Does it, like, if I like this, if I give this 100, does it show? It kind of does. It's quite cool. Oh, there we go. It is live. All right, nice. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll read the majority, don't worry. But like, I won't read all of them. Just too many punters. Let's go. Next story. Also, can you let me know? Like, okay, so I'm going to mute my mic in a sec, and then let me know if you can hear me. Could you hear me then? I want to know. No. Okay, good. So like, if I need to like blow my, yep. So one of you says yep, 3 of you say no. Okay, you couldn't. Sweet. All right, Jerka. Or yeah, well, maybe it's Jerka, but Yerka. Let's go. Next story. Right. Okay. Now moving on to our next story. My entitled sister tried to make me take her to go and see a friend on Christmas Day when the roads were covered in snow. So she drove herself while drunk because I refused and crashed. This is a terrible, terrible title, because I do not care 1 second about the safety of your sister. I'm going to be honest. If someone is dumb enough to do that, genuinely, they deserve to die. As morbid as that might sound, that is honestly what I think. The people's lives that she's putting in danger by doing this is just, it's actually disgusting. It's one of the most selfish things you can possibly do, driving under the influence. You just don't know what effect it might have on other people. So I genuinely think that driving under the influence, even if you're not involved in like an injury or like if it's just a tiny crash, should have much more severe punishments than it does. Anyway, let's get into the story. My sister and I used to be neighbours, so to speak. Oh. So you have to mute there because I'm like burping because I ate so much food. I think I just ate about 2,500 calories in one meal. It was so nice. Not really relevant. All right. I live in a sub building rented from my parents, and she lived in a fifth wheel trailer with her kids next to it. On Christmas Day, about 3 years ago, she and her visiting ex-husband, along with their kids, were outside having fun in the snow. I went outside to hang out with them, and at a random point, my sister suddenly asked me to later take her to meet a friend of hers because they were alone with no family at Christmas. I didn't want to do this because not only did I not know this person, but I know my sister well. If I were to have been her ride, I'd have been stuck waiting there for hours. When she wanted me to do this sort of thing for her back then, it was because she wanted to drink and couldn't have alcohol if she drove herself. It was also snowing and the roads were covered. I didn't want to risk it. This is not looking good. My truck is a 98 RWD Ford F-150, and I had no chains for the tyres. It's a heavy steel beast that could slip off the road very easily. I tend to call it a brick with wheels. I relayed all of that information to my sister, but she still got angry at me for not agreeing, and she couldn't mentally understand that her FWD car would be better on the snow-covered country roads than my truck. But I couldn't drive her with her car anyway because it was a manual and I drive automatic. She kept acting like my vehicle would do better because it's a truck. I explained that if it was a 4x4, then yeah, but it's a rear-wheel drive as opposed to a front-wheel drive, which means it's both heavy and it's got no front power to help keep traction on the road. So it would slip and slide and likely wouldn't even be able to make it back up the hill. Her car was smaller, lighter, she had chains and traction control. I also have very little experience driving on icy and snowy roads. She basically scoffed and walked away, and I hoped she'd let it go, but she didn't. I have a quick question for you guys that I was just thinking of. Sorry to interrupt the story. When you listen to this right now, what is more relaxing? Just my voice on its own, or like a little bit of like the soft sort of lo-fi chill hop music in the background like I normally do with my normal videos? Because I'm just thinking, like, when I do edit this into a normal video, should I put music in there or not? Yeah, it's nostalgic, but is it good? Like, is it more relaxing or just the voice? What do you think? The music wouldn't be loud. But like, would you like it just like this, or a bit of music? It's pretty mixed. Pretty mixed. Maybe I just do really light music. Daniel, I'm not going to do Fortnite music. I'm sorry. Isabel is struggling to work out my accent. I think my accent is pretty obvious, I want to say. Don't you think? Music adds very slight vibes. All right, I think we'll probably stick with music. Anyway, after having fun in the snow, we went over to our parents' house and celebrated Christmas Day. My sister didn't speak of wanting me to drive her to see that guy I don't know while in front of our parents because she knew they'd tell her to leave me alone. But I got an occasional dirty look from her if we made eye contact. And when our parents weren't in earshot, she'd make a jab at me about how she'd do something like that for me if I needed it, and I should be doing it for her. But I didn't relent. My sister started drinking, probably in the hopes that she could try and guilt me by saying she was too inebriated to drive. But I didn't relent. As she drank more, her glares towards me kept getting nastier. That's what she used to do to get her away from me. She'd act increasingly bitter and treat me like the bad guy until I caved. Not that time. Anything related to vehicle danger, I have a pretty shiny spine about. Let me do that again. Ugh. Anything related to vehicle danger, I have a pretty shiny spine about. So I just let her glare at me. By the time the party was almost over, she'd obviously realized her spite gambit didn't work. So she hopped her drunk self into her car and took off, even though she was drunk and shouldn't have been driving. She'd gotten a DUI a couple of years prior, so she knew better. She just didn't care. Thankfully, her ex took their kids to his house for a few days, so I wasn't worried about my nephews. I told my parents what my sister had tried to make me do, and they were pretty angry about it too, and they backed me up on my decision to say no, not only because the roads were treacherous, but because it really wasn't fair to me to keep driving her places just so that she could get drunk. If she really had so much pity for this guy to visit him for a couple of hours at Christmas, she could have done it sober. As I said before, I didn't know this guy she wanted to visit, and my sister just wanted an excuse to go and drink with a friend. And if I'd taken her, I'd have just been waiting around for her for hours. My sister has no sense of being on someone else's time, especially when she drinks. Time to go means almost nothing to her. She could almost never stick to a deadline if alcohol was involved. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with her anymore. She She's not dead, is she? She's not. This is all in the past, but maybe it's in the past because, yeah, you don't have to deal with her anymore. Later on, I was taking a nap when I was woken up to what sounded like my sister's car alarm. I looked out of the window and I saw a large truck I didn't recognize leaving her driveway. I went over and I knocked on her door to ask what was going on. She was particularly moody, and I doubt she was able to drink for the hours she was away, with what I learned later. I asked her whose truck I saw, and she angrily told me it was her lonely friend that I didn't take her to see, and he drove home behind her to make sure she didn't crash. I asked if the roads were really that bad, and she confirmed they were. I said that was a good thing that I didn't try to drive my truck on them then. And she very passive-aggressively said, "Yeah," before spitefully bidding me goodbye for the evening and slamming the door. I learned the next day that my sister had gone off the road and crashed, messed up her passenger side fender pretty bad, and she had to call the guy she was going to see to come and pull her out of the ditch. And then he had to help her get home once she'd calmed down, so she got a fair dose of karma that day. I felt most sorry for her car though. She absolutely destroyed that in the few years she owned it. That fender was just one of the many things to get broken because of her reckless driving. Thankfully, my sister doesn't live here anymore. We evicted her toxic butt in late 2023, and she's extremely bitter that we won't help her anymore. Goodness me, I mean, that is the definition of entitled. What a horrible, horrible girl. Ugh, I mean, clearly she's got a drinking problem. Well, I don't know if she's got a drinking problem, but just acting like that, getting other people to like chauffeur you around just because you want to go and get battered. You don't have the sort of like awareness, I think, okay, maybe this isn't actually fair on them. You're just a clown. I'm sorry. Okay, good story. I think we'll do no music, you know. I think we'll do no music. Staticky. I've put my volume up, so it might be a bit loud. Might be too loud. Don't know. I do not know. The static is also like, I'll show you my mic set. I can check. Oh, well, whatever. Let me go back on this screen. I'll show you my mic settings. I've got like a gate on it. So when I turn the gate off, like now, you'll hear this noise permanently, like the background noise, which arguably is better to have on the whole time because at least you get used to it. But when I put a little gate on like that, when I don't speak, there's no noise. I'm not sure. You know what? I'll listen to it back and I'll decide, I think. But yeah. Yeah, there we go. That is it for the story. I just think, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about this woman. As I said at the start, like what I said at the start was pretty strong, but that is genuinely how I feel. Guys, get your comments in. If you're watching live, if you're watching this after it's been posted already, what do you think about this sister just doing this? I mean, I do think people that do this are just like the most self-obsessed you can possibly get. Even like without the driving drunk stuff. Can you not just order an Uber? Like, just if you want to do this yourself and, you know, like take loads of time, have a drink, get really drunk, that is so fine, as long as it's only affecting you and the people that you're doing that with. If you're asking other people to come with you in the knowledge that they're going to want to leave and you're just going to be like, no, I'm staying and drinking loads, and then forcing them to wait for you to finish, then putting other people in danger, like asking OP to drive their car when they don't feel comfortable doing it is actually mental, just so you can go get a drink. There we go. Title summed it up, to be honest, says George in the live chat. I completely agree. I can't think of much to say. This is one of those stories that leaves me speechless. I think she's terrible and narcissistic. And then Isabel says, selfish people. I couldn't agree more. Let's see what the comments are saying. Someone says, I wish people would see this as karma when things happen to them. Instead, she probably blames you for the crash because she wanted you to drive her. Sigh. I think that's right. I think that's summed it up pretty well, to be honest. Like, she's like, oh, why didn't you just drive me? This would never have happened. Rather than looking at herself and thinking, what could have happened if I got a little bit more unlucky? Maybe she's one of those people that's going to need something serious to happen to her for her to ever learn. But yeah, I hope that she doesn't have to get into a serious accident for her to understand that. But I fear that she actually might have to. Okay. Oh. Sweet. Did she end up driving her car? Because doesn't that mean that she got lucky because OP could have sued? Yeah, but I don't think you'd sue your own sister. I mean, maybe. This is the kind of person that will end up killing someone on the road and feel no remorse. That's exactly what I said. Actually, no, that's not what I said. I didn't say about the no remorse, but I agree with you. Again, they'll probably be like, oh, it wasn't my fault. My car isn't very good because you've crashed it loads over the years. Whatever, let's get into the next story. Okay, and then we'll cut there. ICVR1 says, hey, do you have anything inspiring? I need some lifting. My dog just passed away and I've been listening to you for 5 years. Dude, that is tough, man. I can't say anything inspiring to you. I can just say I'm very, very sorry to hear that. And that is one of the toughest things that you'll probably go through, which is really sad. Sorry, my friend. Inspiring words after the death of your dog? I don't have any. Sorry. But yeah, pretty shitty situation there. Sorry, dude. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Life goes on. My granny has a new dog. I've never had a dog, by the way. My granny has a new dog, and it is tiny. I think if I wanted to, I could kick it about 50 meters, but I won't because then the RSPCA will be on my ass. There we go. Yeah, everyone's being nice in the comments. That's good to see. All right, should we do one more entitled people story? Then let's get into best of, which I like best of. I know George is live. I can say whatever I want. The only thing is, this will be cut out. Like, this will be cut. Well, it will still be on the channel as a live episode, but it will be cut out. Whereas if you say something here when I'm like doing my live commentary or whatever that's going to be in the episode, then there's not much we can do about that. It's just going to be in the episode. So, you know, it's up to you lot. Still can't work out the accent. Does someone want to let Isabel know where I'm from? Does someone want to let Isabel know? I'm just looking through entitled people here, trying to find one more. This is a long one, but it doesn't have that many upvotes. Let me try entitled parents, because I was on entitled people. Yeah, Jamaican. That's where I'm from. How could you tell? How could you tell my thick Jamaican accent? You know where I'm from, man. I'm from Kingston, and I always have been. It's time to read some entitled parents. North, East, West, Worcestershire. Yeah, that's it. There you go. How'd you know that? Crazy. Give me an accent to do, and I'll actually do it. Seriously. Give me an accent. And don't say North, East, Worcestershire, because that is a real place. There aren't that many good. I want one more good entitled parent story. Icelandic. Fuck. I mean, I can't do that. Iceland. I'm trying to do like how that, like Danish people speak. No, or like Swedish people. Sweden, Stockholm. I have no idea. What's the capital of Iceland? Reykjavik? Brummie. I can have a go at Brummie. Birmingham. Although I'm not sure that many people are going to know in the live chat what a Brummie accent sounds like. But I think it's a little bit like this. So this might be a little bit... This could be a little bit too much, if anything. But, you know, when you're from the black country like me, George is a Brummie. Don't believe you, mate. Okay. Oh, this is a good story. I've actually found a great story here. And it's actually about me. It's not. American. American. Every time I do an American... Every time I do an American accent, I'm just like... It just sounds super cringe. And in my head, I'm just like, oh my God, this doesn't sound real. It sounds like disgusting. And I'm just trying to... Wait, you are actually a Brummie? Really? We have two Brummies in the chat? That is genuinely amazing, guys. I can't do American. It sounds awful. Czech. I'm not going to bother with Czech. Yeah, no, American is cringe. Hispanic. Well, I can try and do an Hispanic accent because it's an accent that comes very naturally to me. You know, I cannot do a Texan accent. It's too hard. It's very hard, guys. But a Hispanic accent, especially from Spain, I can do Spanish. I think so. But you have to tell me in the comments if it's okay. If it's not okay, you know. Yo, dogs. A Scouse accent. Fucking hell, mate. For me to do a Scouse accent, I just gotta swear, lad. I'm also trying to do it a little bit quieter because I don't want to wake up people in the house. But, I probably can just about get away with a bit of a Scouse accent. Although, I will say this, I fucking hate Liverpool. I hate people from Liverpool. I know it's a generalisation, but it's actually true. I just don't like them at all. Kiwi accent. Albanian. How am I going to know what Albanian is? Kiwi accent. Alright, I'll try Kiwi. Alright, how do we do Kiwi accent? A little bit like this. Oh, I'm feffing around. That's South African. I'm just feffing around a little bit. No, is that right or is that more Australian? I don't know. It's between. I'm not sure the difference between a Kiwi accent and an Australian accent. So I don't know. And I really wanted to start doing a South African accent because this is the one I like doing the most. It's much more fun and much more enjoyable. You sound like Trent Alexander-Arnold, I can't lie. Thank you very much. That's very kind. A German accent. Well, I can try and do a German accent. No. Alright, can you actually stop messing around? I want to get into a story. If I would do one more accent. Fine. I'm gonna be live for about 7 hours here and get about 10 minutes of content. Yeah, that was Dutch. Well, a bit Dutch. And I think Dutch people speak very, very good English. I don't know what that is. Thank you, Mayhem, as well. That is very kind. If you weren't sure what Mayhem was saying, I will... Well, you know what I can do, actually. If you really, 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 really want to see just what you guys are saying. Boom. There you go. This just looks so much worse, doesn't it? I don't like the look of that. I like it when it's more integrated. So I will go back to that. And there's nothing you can do to stop me, you bastards. All right, there we go. Go French. Ah, monsieur. Monsieur. Anyway, you want me to post, please. Serenity Star says you want to post. Well, I could post. I could. But also, I want to I want to do some accents live. I want to do some accents live on stream. I want to do some accents. I always go back to South African because it's the most fun. Okie Chobi. Dude, you help me relax and sleep. Your voice is very soothing. I appreciate you. Look at that. And it's just there. Hello. Thank you, bro. I'm happy that I could help. I really am. Do Austrian, 2 options, Hitler or Arnold. I will take neither. Instead, let's stop being silly. Okay? Alright. My chair's a bit squeaky in it. Okay. Hey, this one, what? First of all, I'm not doing Hitler. And Arnold has one thing and one thing only. And it's been overplayed. Anyway. Okay, let's get into our third entitled people story. And then we'll move on to something a little bit different. Entitled mum wants victim charged after her son sends victim's private pictures around school. Wow, what a title. I am an attorney, and a few years ago, I prosecuted juvenile delinquency cases at the district attorney office in my state. The sheer number of awful parents I encountered was depressing, but not at all surprising. The deadbeats were frustrating and depressing, but the entitled ones were infuriating. So let me preface all of this with something you need to understand to do that job. Kids are stupid. All kids. The smart ones, the dumb ones, the good, the bad, the religious, atheists, mamas, boys, cheerleaders, and athletes. And I say this as someone who fully acknowledges that I too was a stupid kid. I once chugged a full bottle of maple syrup because I saw it in a movie. So you've got to try and look at more than the crime or their life circumstances. Please keep that in mind. If any of you have been around on my channel for a very long time now, you will remember a subreddit called r/kids are frickin' stupid. And that sort of just epitomizes, I suppose, what's just been said. Some of the stuff I saw on there, I'm still scarred by today. Can't quite believe what I saw. But anyway, let's go into this, knowing that kids are dumb. We already knew that, but thank you, OP, for letting us know even more. All right. The bane of my existence in that job, Snapchat. Because the send nudes culture hits kids right around that 14 to 16 range. And I'm sure by now you all know why having a 15-year-old girl send you a nude is problematic. And of course, they have to show their friends or send it to others after breaking up. Yeah, I mean, I know that is sort of the culture. It's pretty ridiculous, but yeah, crazy. Well, instead of charging these kids for possessing and distributing CP, I found a statute pertaining to the unauthorized distribution of electronic property and charged that because it technically fit the elements and would keep the kid off of the sex offender registry if they moved. The goal was to teach a lesson, hold kids accountable, and make sure they understood that next time I could do it differently. The victims and their parents were also pretty much on board because there were actual consequences, juvenile probation. Plus, I always included the opportunity for the victim to talk about how it affected them in court and required the offending kid to sincerely apologize. Parents of the offending kid were always on board, except for one entitled mother who stopped me after court one day with her son to ask me questions. Here we go. She said, "You're treating my son, who was 15, like a criminal when he's just a kid." I know he's just a kid, and I'm not saying he's a bad kid, but he needs to understand how serious this is, because if he does this when he turns 18, this is a very different conversation. Okay, fine. Well, what are you doing with the girl? What's she being charged with? Oh my goodness me, has she genuinely just asked that? Crazy. Excuse me? I replied. Well, she did the same thing my son did, right? Why isn't she being charged with anything? Because we don't charge and punish victims of crimes. Imagine that was how it worked. Not only the perpetrator got sentenced, but also the victim. Get stabbed and die? Well, the murderer is in prison for life, and your dead body is as well. Super tough, but that's the way it goes apparently, according to this entitled mum. She then huffs again. Well, I don't think she could... Oh, I need to have a drink. Oh. A subreddit I haven't heard of for a while. Yeah, exactly. It was a classic. Whereas there wasn't like... The content wasn't varied enough. And I think people like the stories more than like the image based. But I enjoyed it. It was good. All right. Well, I don't think she should get off scot-free because she's the one who sent my son the pics that got him in trouble. She's just as guilty as anyone and she started all of this. So because she sent the pictures, she should get in trouble? No. I am just trying not to yell right outside a courtroom at this point. Okay, well, your son sent the pictures to his friends after they broke up, and they made their way around the entire school, and this girl has had to suffer through that and everything that comes along with it. Had your son come to you when she sent him the pics and told you about how her sending him nude pictures offended his delicate sensibilities, I would have happily treated him like the victim of something and made sure the young lady knew how serious sending nude pictures to underage kids was. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, you still can't do that, but yes, in this situation, let's be honest with the context, she's obviously not the victim here. But he didn't do that, and we both know why. And the second he decided to take those pictures and send them to everyone, he victimized this young lady. However, if you think she should be held accountable for her actions because what she did was technically a crime, I'm happy to listen. Of course, I'd then have to take a more literal view of what everyone did here. That would likely result in me charging your son with possession and distribution of CP to make sure I held everyone to the same standard of culpability, and you're free to cut. At this point, the kid's attorney said sorry and whisked them both away, and he ended up pleading at the next hearing and offered a tearful apology once he heard in open court how much he hurt his former girlfriend. Entitled mum remained silent when asked by the judge if there was anything she wanted to say on her son's behalf. Brilliant. Ugh. There we go for this. And there we go. That is it for the story. Just got to read this comment right here. If anyone asks you to send nudes, send a picture of a naked mole rat. I can't hate on that. I really can't. Next time, because I'm going to be honest, I get asked for nudes a lot. I shouldn't joke about this. It's not in the context of the story, but I will do anyway. I will send a picture of a naked mole rat. There we go. You know what's even more amazing? Isabel saying live in the chat, what a story. What a story it was. Oh. Someone else has said in the chat, my counselor told me to send a picture of ramen noodles. You know what? That works as well. That really does work as well. That's very good. I'm actually tempted to make this chat smaller because I'll do it on the next one. But me wearing this, actually, I'm going to take this off. I'll take this off now. I'll do it next one. No, these aren't my stories, you mug. Okay. To this day, I still wonder what goes on in some people's minds. How do they even have thoughts this crazy? I know. Look, we had an incident at our school with nudes. I think it's a pretty common issue. It's really bad. But when you have kids that, as you said at the start, they're not terrible people. They're just stupid. All kids are stupid. Sadly, this thing does happen if you know, they make a mistake or education perhaps isn't there enough, even though like it, you know, it's not, I don't really blame teachers' faults or, you know, the school they're in for this stuff happening. It's tough, you know, kids are kids, and with the internet, it's hard these days. But when you have an adult standing up for her child who's done something like this, how is this situation, like, how are we ever going to learn from this? Like, when you have someone saying, okay, I know my son did this, but what about the girl, man? Like, she should also go to juvenile prison. It's like, no. I don't want to speak on her behalf, but her life is much, much harder now, objectively speaking, because of what's happened to her, which was all because of your son. It's a pretty crazy thing for an adult to say, but yeah, that is a definition of an entitled parent. Love it when entitled parents think they are being victimized when they're actually being helped. That's another great point from someone in the live chat here. Like, your son, I'm speaking to the entitled mum here, he's got away with it because OP is super nice, right? And he knows that this sort of culture exists and that it's not, I don't know how to phrase this, but again, with the kids a stupid thing, it's not like kids being really malicious or whatever. It's just they need to learn. And that is what you've been doing, right? You're saying, instead of charging these kids for possessing and distributing CP, which is what this guy has done, you're actually giving them a much lesser sentence and just hoping that they learn from this. Again, though, like when you have an entitled mum that's like, actually, no, don't want this, what's going on, etc., etc., you're making people like OP be more inclined to be like, you know what, I don't care about trying to help anyone. I'm just going to actually give the arguably the correct charge, the correct sentencing. It's going to be much worse for everyone involved. So it's weird. Like, as that person said, great point from Okeechobee. You know, some people just don't understand that they're being helped. Some parents, they continue, don't want teachers to tell them about this stuff, and then they don't either. So the internet teaches kids, which is problematic. Exactly. And actually, in the video that released a few days back, if you're watching this as a video in and of itself on my channel, I talk about this. It's an issue that comes up. If you're watching this live, that video will be up as soon as this live stream finishes. Actually, it will be the end screen on this episode no matter what. But yeah, this is a very prevalent issue now. But there we go. That is it for entitled parents in this one. Now let's get into some relationship stories. And let's have a little dance as well. Why not? The mum's playing the victim, Isabel, because she's an absolute clown. Is all I can say. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Oh. I should actually have done this before. Yeah, I am an awkward dancer, man. It's on purpose. What? Serenity Star, go on. What's your username? I'll have a look at it. Oh. Oh. See, now, look at that's much better. Now you can kind of see it, see the comments against my t-shirt. DMG 5620. I'll have a little look. DMG 5620. I will say though, I will scan it, and if I don't believe it's good enough, no hard feelings, I won't read it. I don't see you. I know I do. Do I? What are we on? 200%. I need to remember 200%. DMG 5620. People? Ah. I see. Which one is it? Wow. Oh, you know, I will read that. I will read all of this actually. Yeah. Update, it's not good news. That's pretty long, but yeah, I'll read this. I'll read this, broski. This is good. Okay. All right. All right, let's go. kind of getting capped at the top a little bit. That's fine. Just a chat. Let me just extend it a little bit more. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's fine. It's like scrolling upwards. Okay. Okay, now, despite what I just said, I have been alerted by somebody who's watching this live that actually there is one more entitled parent story that I must read. Just because Serenity Star is in the chat right now, and they posted a few weeks ago, 4 weeks ago in fact, a story on entitled parents that got loads of upvotes, so it must be good. And as a reward for watching this live, I'm going to read their story. If you want your story to be read in future, then I guess you've got to be subscribed to the channel with notifications on so you never miss one of these live streams. I don't know how regular they're going to be. I'd be lying if I said I knew that. But when I feel like it, like today, it's going to be done. And Serenity Star is saying hi to YouTube because I'm about to read their story. How about this for a title? And also, there is an update to come for this one as well, which is you know me, you know I love an update. Ex-stepmom feels entitled to a relationship with me after 6 years of no contact and ruining my childhood after she got in trouble with a preacher for lying. Update here says it's not good news. So there we go. And the great thing about this is, as we go along with this story and as we get to the end, I can ask Serenity Star live what was going on for a little bit more context perhaps. I think this is the first time ever on the history of my channel I've read a story with the person's story watching me and listening me read it. So it's a privilege. Let's go. YouTube lurker first time poster. I would like to thank Reddit tubers like the Click MK, Redditor. There we go. Finally a good one. Dark Fluff and Vincy. You could have just said Redditor there. Okay. Oh, sorry, no, I'm just going to redo that because I hit the mic. You could have just said Redditor there. Okay. No need to include all those other clowns. Obviously I jest. They're all actually phenomenal YouTubers. But there we go. 4, giving me the strength to get this off my chest. But after several years, I was advised to finally tell this story to people that aren't in my small town and know this absolutely entitled Dumbo. Obligatory, this happened years ago, but still followed me for ages afterwards. Okay, I am a 24-year-old woman and I am a child of divorce. My biological parents split when I was 4 years old. I just thought of something that would be really funny. If you deleted your story live and then it was just gone. Don't do that. But it would be quite funny. I found you last, to be fair. I'll take it. And also I was only joking. Don't worry. Okay. My mother started dating again when I was 7. A wonderful man, and I love him to death. But my absolute idiot of a father dated several women between the time I was 4 to 8. Half of that time he was in and out of my life as it was, but that's not what this is about. That's the difference there between men and women, I'm happy to admit. This is about his last girlfriend / his wife prior to his death. Rest in peace. My stepmother, who I unaffectionately called my ex-step female dog. Now, I will just say this. I have a Google sort of extension which swaps swear words, which I've turned on. I might turn it off actually, just so I can read this how it's meant to be read. I will do that. I can always just do it myself. Now you can see if you're watching on screen, it has been turned off. There we go. I will continue not to swear though, just for the YouTubes, just so YouTube continues to love me. Anyway, I unaffectionately call my ex-step, SB for short, you can probably guess what that is if you're listening, walked into my life after she met my dad while she was in a women's rehab group in my hometown, where my dad and his Christian rock band played. Very Bible Belt area of the southern US. I always had an issue with the women/girls that walked into my life because of bullying due to my absolutely insane name that this man gave me as well as his first girlfriend after leaving my mother, abusing me and my little sister when we were very young. Out of interest, is your actual name Serenity or not? I will ask Serenity Star. I presume that your surname isn't Star. If your name actually is Serenity, pretty crazy name, I will say. And I agree, ex-female dog is hilarious. But yeah, I feel like step is a stronger word. Serenity has replied, no, it's much worse. It's much worse. Wow, fair enough. Star is my middle name though. Okay, pretty cool middle name. Much worse, interesting. I won't ask any more questions. Let's get back to your story. Okay. Not to mention that the reason he and my mother divorced was because he was constantly on drugs. So I was very, very aware of what her rehab group was for, which made my skepticism even worse. She showed up one day when I was 8.5. I remember because it was summer and my birthday was in January. It was my dad's week, 50-50 custody, and dad was going to take me and my sister to our uncle's house to go swimming. But we were waiting for my step female dog. I still am not entirely sure what to call her. I can't say the female dog word. I'll go with step female dog. It was that day that dad told me and my, at the time, 7-year-old sister that they were dating and had been for 3 months without saying anything to us. For minor context, my dad screamed at my mum for not telling him that she was dating someone. So there were issues in that for me. Yeah, that is very manipulative behavior indeed, and yeah, pretty abusive to be honest. I distinctly remember looking at my dad, then at my step-female dog, then back at dad and her again, until I pointed at her and told my dad, she is going to do something bad. This was the beginning of our dynamic. Oh. Some more context here from Serenity Star in the chat. I'm named after 3 video games. Wow. Okay, Final Fantasy, Phantasy Star, and StarCraft, so you decide. That's crazy. There's no way your name is Fantasy. Is it? Surely your first name isn't Fantasy. You don't have to reveal it, but this is just, sorry, your first name is Fantasy. Wow. That is, I'm just going to, just so we can see on screen the chat here. Final Fantasy, Phantasy Star and StarCraft. And there we go. It is. That is a pretty cool name. I mean, we're going to get into your dad and more context here, I'm sure, in just a second, but look at the chat. The chat's popping off. Everyone's saying that's an unreal name. Fantasy as a first name. Phantasy Star. That sounds like you're the kids or the kid of like Kanye, to be honest. That's crazy. Anyway, I don't know. Look, everyone's loving the name in the chat. I think it does sound awesome. It's very, very original. I will give you, and whichever your parents named you, that. Let's get back into the story. See, look, if I was just reading this story normally, I'd have no idea with that extra information, would I? That's class. That's class. One more thing from Serenity Star. She says, thanks guys. Everyone bullied me as a kid, but my dad was an 80s kid, if that makes sense. Of course it makes sense. Of course it makes sense. And I also think that a lot of people have very boring names. I'd include myself in that. My name is Jack. 4 letters. Dull. I do actually quite like my name, but in general, I think like names are pretty boring, aren't they? Why do we have to choose from the same ones that everyone else has got? Call me Phantasy Star instead. Let's continue. I distinctly remember. Okay, I already read that. Okay. Fast forward to not only my dad getting married to this woman, but me being used by her as a test subject for her psychology degree. She never finished this, by the way. I was 11 at the time and playing in my bedroom with my sister and cousin, waiting for lunch after church on Super Bowl Sunday 2012. My sister and cousin were on the computer that was in my room because we didn't have enough TVs. They were playing Movie Star Planet, which was all the rage at the time, and were using the camera feature. When the flash went off, I started to feel funny, to say the least. So much so that I started seeing red dots everywhere. I told the two of them, and my cousin made the joke that I was about to have a seizure. And to my surprise, he was right. Oh, interesting. So that's sort of what happens. I've never actually thought about what happens to someone that has seizures or is epileptic or whatever. You see red dots. I mean, I assume this isn't the case for everyone, but you start seeing red dots and then have a seizure. Jesus, very, very scary. Yeah, I agree. Like, it's cool as an adult. I understand why. Well, I don't understand it, but I can see how that name wouldn't be good for a kid. Oh, but I'm sure you can look on the bright side now. The star that you are. Okay. Sorry, I'm just having a break. Don't know if I'm going to tell. Normally, when I record these stories, I do them pretty chilled out. Let's keep going. Okay. Now, this next part, I don't have much memory of, other than stories from my sister, cousin, and dad telling me after I came to. Apparently, the two of them ran downstairs to get a drink, leaving me on the bed until my dad came upstairs to get me for lunch. Apparently, I was having a full grand mal seizure out of nowhere, and my dad did everything he could think of to keep me from hurting myself while calling 911. I remember waking up a little in the ambulance and my dad telling me I was okay and I should go back to sleep, which I did. Next I knew, I heard noises, one of those being, "Touchdown Patriots," and my dad was cheering. The first thing I said after waking up was asking if he was watching the Super Bowl without me. That is when the room exploded. It was the first time since I was very young that my mum and dad were in the same room and not screaming at each other. Not the last, but that's a different story. I remember looking around after my eyes adjusted to see that I was in a white room, a hospital room, still in my church dress that I was going to change out of after lunch and before the game. My mum and dad called the doctor back in to check on me, and I was scheduled for so many different appointments after that, including a sudden re-entry to the hospital because we found out I was allergic to the seizure med they gave me while I was unconscious. Jesus, I mean, I thought it was bad enough. Terrible. I'm actually burping so much. This is why I shouldn't eat a huge meal before streaming. Oh. By the way, apparently I've dropped 0 frames all stream. That's pretty cool, whatever that means. I actually know what that means. All right. This part was told to me years later by my mother when I was about 17. Apparently, while I was passed out and getting tests done, my step female dog, instead of checking on me, called our pastor to pray over me. He was a good man, but I now have nothing to do with the Christian faith because of my step female dog and my dad. But because it was a smaller hospital and involved a child, it was only direct family allowed inside the room with me. Step female dog told the hospital staff that she was my biological mother. We look nothing alike, and she was 28 while I was 11. When my real mum showed up, the pastor who was outside the room told her it was family only. And when she told him that she was my mother, and thankfully one of the new nurses that showed up was a friend of my mum's, she was let in, and step female dog was kicked out. She lied about being your biological mum? That's mad. Oh. From what I'm told, step female dog got yelled at by our pastor for lying to him about my mother not having anything to do with me or my sister, when in fact she was very involved in our lives. Heck, I was supposed to go to her house that day after she got off work, conveniently right after the Super Bowl. Anyway, after I was released from the hospital and my mum took me home to her house, things were okay. I was off school for a week because the seizure came out of nowhere, and my primary wanted to have me come in every other day for checkups just in case. Things changed, however, when I went back to my dad's. I'd gotten off school after my first day back, and I completely missed where I was there. That happens sometimes. I'm just reading. I'm like, where the hell am I? Okay. I'd gotten off school after my first day back, and while I'm doing my chores, which was washing dishes that day, step-female dog came into the kitchen while my dad was in their bedroom playing World of Warcraft and told me that it was all my fault that the church is mad at her and she hated me for it. Again, I'm 11 and this 28-year-old woman is blaming me for her getting in trouble with a man she lied to. Not to mention that she and my dad would tell me anytime I was sick after the seizure, it was all in my head, or you're overreacting, your pain can't be hospital level. Goodness. My dad was a Navy veteran, so he always used that line whenever I was hurting, not realising that medication I've been taking for years made my pain tolerance severely low. Ironically though, they were actually sort of right, explained further down. That's interesting. How? You've got my mind ticking there, Serenity/fantasy. I'm intrigued. Since that day, we actually... Oh, my lips are so dry. Okay. Since that day, we absolutely despised each other to the point that no matter what I did, I was getting Bible thumped, even going so far as to make me late for an assignment for my freshman English class in high school because I made the mistake of claiming Greek mythology made more sense to me than the Bible. This still holds true to the day. I'm a practicing Norse pagan/moon Wiccan. She even got so insecure about my blatant hatred of her that she asked me to show her my messages between me and my counselor that I was assigned because of dual KYS attempts, not KYS, sorry, unaliving attempts. I was 14 at that time, and even I, someone who at the time was studying forensic science and had an unhealthy obsession with criminal minds and law and order, knew that was illegal as heck, and I told my counsellor about it at our next session. That nonsense got shut down very fast. Thankfully, she's been mostly out of my life since I was 17, when my father died of a drug overdose/withdrawal-induced heart attack. I'm so sorry. She and my father had apparently been on drugs again. Big shocker, and a personal I told you so on my part, and subjecting me and my sister to the fumes, which made me violently ill for several months, and we didn't know why until Dad passed. Goodness me, I'm not going to ask what drugs or whatever, I can probably work it out, but that is awful. The last time I saw her was 6 months after he died when I turned 18, and I got the one thing of my dad's that I wanted, which was a 12-string electric guitar. Big music family. That is awesome. I did not know that 12-string guitars existed. 12? That must be massive. As in widthways. Crazy. However, that wasn't the last time she tried to make contact with me. Recently, while I was in college, already stressed out because of more health issues that stemmed from the seizure incident coming up and the sudden death of one of my dad's 4 sons, oh wow, step-female dog started to spam my Facebook Messenger asking how I was doing, if school was going good, all this kind stuff, only to yell at me for coming out as a demi-girl, semi-non-binary that leans towards the feminine side. I was using they/them at the time, and she called me an abomination, which was strange because I didn't tell her or anyone else about this outside my college friends who were on the other side of the country from where she was, back in my home state. Apparently, my one brother, who still has contact with her for some reason, told her about me asking to be called sibling on our brother's obituary, thinking I still talked to this woman like my sister did occasionally. He was fully aware I hated her with a burning passion, but not exactly why. I'm not close with any of my brothers for various reasons, but that is besides the point. I'm just going to jump in here and say, in comparison to my family, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Not saying that's a good thing, not saying that's a bad thing. My family is very, probably boring, I would say, in terms of its structure and, not boring. I mean, it's great, but like, there's no drama or anything, which is obviously a good thing. There's not been anything like in the history of our family that's been out of the ordinary, I suppose. So when I'm reading about a family like this and all the crazy stuff that's happening, and I have the person that's the stories about in the chat live with me, my mind is a bit like, oh my goodness me, what is going on here? But yeah, Serenity has said in the chat, I'll just show you guys quickly if you are watching. It was very nice to get all of this off my chest, and now hearing it read is so weird. Hey, you asked for it, and I've got to give the people what they want. I've got to give the people what they want. But yeah, people are giving you some great sort of like encouragement and support in the chat, so I think it's worth it. You're a brave soul. Respect to you. I completely agree. I will just say before we carry on that Jesus is in the chat and has just called me a goat. Does that make me Christian? No. Am I now really considering it? No. Okay, right. Where were we here? Oh yeah. I think we were at SB was Timothy. My step-female dog was tormenting me over the phone while I was studying for finals before returning home to get medical tests done. Come to find out, I have epilepsy, autism, and a vein malformation in my brain that nobody cared to check after my seizure because the neurologist I saw in my home state at the time was an idiot and claimed I had the seizure due to low blood sugar, which, come to find out, is a massive side effect of the epilepsy and the malformation. I do have a blood sugar issue, but when I seize, it gets dangerously low due to a plethora of other issues, hormone and chemical-wise, in my messed up body. I now have to go to the capital of my home state after dropping out of college because of insurance issues and have a consultation with a neurosurgeon to see if they're going to put me through radiation or just cut the malformation out of my brain. I went to Facebook in order to warn anyone on either side of my family since my epilepsy was genetic, and I'm the first one to have it on either side, as well as update my cousins, who I still have contact with, in that part of the state if they wanted to visit. And unbelievably, my step-female dog freaking commented saying I should go and see her instead. I nearly screamed. I was so mad that she was still acting all lovey-dovey to me, but thankfully my boyfriend was able to calm me down enough not to do something stupid, and commented himself that if any of my family wanted to stay in contact with me, they will keep my step-female dog away from any information on my location and life. So far, only my uncle, my dad's last living sibling, and his sons are the only ones who still keep regular contact with me or my sister from my dad's side. I have little contact with my mum's family my entire life, other than one of my two brothers on her side. I have my fingers crossed that the situation gets better before I lose my whole mind, but I've got a feeling she won't come anywhere near me or our hometown because of how many bridges she's burnt here by hurting me and my sister. It's a small town, lots of motorcycle bikers who happen to be family to us. Well, it's good to hear that they've got your back. Goodness me, I don't think there's anything scarier than like a gang of motorbike riders just all together. There we go. I apologise for how long this is. I just had to rant. She's been ruining my life on and off since I was a kid, and I hope with this I can now have some peace away from her while I deal with everything. I am eternally grateful to my boyfriend for keeping me sane during all this stuff, as well as my younger sister and stepdad who've been helping me with appointments and paying for my medication while I work on getting my disability processed. Wow. There we go. And that is it for the first post. I think let's just get straight into the update though. I think we should. Now there is an edit here. There are a couple of edits, but I just want to see what happened in the update. Let me just ask Serenity in chat. Should I read more here? Or is there gonna is all revealed in the update? There are a couple of edits that you've left here. But yeah, let me know. Hello, Steve-O, young man. Hopefully it'll be pretty obvious, Steve-O, which bits I want in the video and like when it's edited and which I don't. Like this, for example, probably wouldn't be in the video. Most of the update answers everything. All right, we'll jump into that. Okay. Most of the update answers everything Serenity says. Okay. Then without further ado, let's jump into that. So for example, that is in the video. This, me going like this? Probably not, although I'm not in charge of the edit, I will say that. Which is a real shame. Oh my god, I didn't even update it. What do you mean, what the? Sorry, update, what the fuck? I fucking speak English, boys. Please keep one boogie. I did. Alright, well, maybe we'll have to leave one boogie in. Just in case, I'll do one more. Boogie woogie, boogie woogie. The people want that to be left in. So it's in. What's this happening? I don't know. Normally I don't record for this long. It's also 1:30 a.m. And I forgot to leave an upvote on this first one, which is very, 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 very bad. Fuck's sake, I've done this wrong. I actually realised that. Oh no, I have done it. I actually realised that a lot of people probably haven't ever heard me swear before. I'm sorry to you. I really am. I'm just sorry. Okay? All I can say is that I'm sorry. Oh, yes, sir. I can boogie. Have you had the transfer news, by the way? What transfer news, you clown? Okay, yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen in March. That famous transfer window, March. You absolute muck. Right, should we get into the update? Keep that one specifically, Steve-O, please. By the way, Steve-O, I'm reading out Serenity Star's story live, and it's a mental story. Isabel, it's not over. It's not over. Look. Look, Isabelle, it's there. Update. Crazy. Oh, all right, let me just lock in here. Let me just lock it the fuck in. All right. Okay, so here is the update. Hey, y'all, I'm back. And yes, did things get worse? Oh, no, fuck, so I'll do that again. Oh, is that really loud? Let me actually listen to that. Just so I can hear. You like that, big boy? Okay. It's not even funny. I can actually do some real ASMR. Okay. I literally fell over laughing. That is so crazy, man. Look, let me try and do this in full ASMR voice. Okay. Now for the update here, guys, I'm actually going to go full ASMR. And I'm not sure if you guys are going to like this, but I'm going to try and do one post in this whole episode in ASMR. Why not? I'm a big fan of ASMR myself, so let's give it a go. Anyway, here we go. Let's get into the update. Hey y'all, I'm back. And yeesh, did things get worse. So, for those who haven't seen part 1 of this saga, see the link above, but TLDR, let's just remind ourselves of what I just read. My stepmother blamed 11-year-old me for her getting in trouble while I was having a seizure, and even after being no contact with her for 6 years, she still wants to talk to me while I suffer with medical issues because her conscience is killing her somehow. There we go. Crazy. This aside, As I mentioned in my last post, I'm supposed to go down to my state capital since I can't get anything done near me, which is 3 hours from my hometown. In the capital, my father's former wife, prior to his death, who I tend to call my ex-step female dog, lives in and out of rehabs because of her drug habit. Apparently, the reason she's trying to get in contact with me is because her rehab told her to make amends with people she hurts. You know who the only person she hasn't been able to get in contact with is? That's right, me. The stepchild that she called not only an abomination, but blamed for her getting in trouble and bullied emotionally and mentally from day one. Well, let me tell you guys, apparently this woman can't handle getting rejected for long. She came to my hometown and harassed my elderly uncle just so she could find out where I was, so she could have a sit down with me to, quote, go over what happened. First off, I don't think she came here just to do this. Her mother lives here and her younger creep of a brother is a street bum in our town who called me out while watching our Christmas parade with my boyfriend. That is very interesting in and of itself. It was super creepy since I haven't seen him in 7 years since he was sent to state prison just before my dad passed. Anyway, my step-female dog of a stepmother, pulled every card she could, even stooping so low to have her mum call up my younger sister, who was 23, who works for a dog groomer in our town, where she takes our old dog to get groomed. Now, my sister knows that I have no contact with my step-female dog and is respectful of that because after all these years... Oh, sorry. Oh, God. If it's any consolation, I had a really nice meal, but it's coming up. Hello and welcome to all the listeners and viewers. There you go. Oh. All right, where were we? Sorry. I think I did that. What was... Yeah, fine. Now, my sister knows that I have no contact with my step-female dog and is respectful of that because after all these years, she's come to grips with the trauma that she left me with that haunts me to this day, but she was blind to it because my step-female dog showered her with affection just to make me jealous. That is one of the things that we see a lot with entitled parents, isn't it? They're very entitled, often narcissistic, but they aren't incapable of showing a lot of love to an individual. It's not like fair, and it's often very focused on one person or one set of people, and then there's a lot of hatred for someone else. I think we often see that. Night, Steve, lad. See you when you're older. Don't go changing. Okay. My sister and I are fine these days, but we did have serious issues growing up because I was neglected by both bio parents and my step-female dog, since my mum thought dad was neglecting my sister and showered me, his baby girl, with love. In actuality, dad avoided us both because of his obsession with World of Warcraft, that I later found out was his way of avoiding popping pills. Druggy's gonna druggy, am I right? Well, I was at my neurologist. I have genetic epilepsy and basically a tumour in my brain that I have to get cut out sometime soon. I don't know when yet. Let me just check when this was posted. 14 days ago. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to hear that, Serenity. Just a reminder, Serenity Star, the person who wrote this, real name Fantasy, crazy name, is live in the chat right now. So I'm very sorry to hear that. That is terrible. Anyway, let's get back to it, and I hope that when you do have your operation, and you've said in the chat still no timeline on that either. It obviously goes very well, but goodness me. On my last post, they continue. Someone commented that it was possible that my epilepsy could have been caused by my dad's drug use, and that got me thinking. I asked my neuro about that possibility, since I'm the first in any of my family to have the condition, and you'll let me tell you, my neuro lost her mind. She started scrambling to get new tests done to see if it was true. Now, for context, I was born as a sort of savior baby. That's what my mum called me. AKA, I was only born because my dad thought having a baby would keep him off drugs, and my mum wanted to save the relationship because she really loved my sperm donor. And my mum wanted to save the relationship because she really loved my sperm donor for some reason. Well, guess what, guys? Neither worked. They got me and my sister, and when I was 4, they separated because, yep, you guessed it, Dad was always high. He couldn't work because he screwed up his back in the Navy, so Mum was our only source of money. And if you don't know anything about Arkansas, here is what you got to know. We've got trash jobs unless you're a farmer, and our biggest employer is Walmart. My town specifically, though, we have a lot of factories and bars, both of which my mum worked at during this time. Anyway, to tie these two situations together, my step-female dog heard about me having to get surgery because of a Facebook post I made to warn my cousins. She's been blocked on every social media I could think of, aka Facebook, since I don't have any other, and fingers crossed she doesn't have Reddit. Goodness me, imagine she did. That'd be terrible. Oh, I keep burping, man. By the way, when I get something wrong, I do that little pause. I don't keep reading, continue. Like I don't just immediately correct myself. It's because in the edit, it's much easier to spot when there's like a little gap in audio when there's no sound. So then it's easier to know when a mistake has been made. Debbie, thank you. It is 1:35 a.m. Yes, it's quite late. And I also haven't even got into the second half of this live stream yet. No, Erin, don't worry. I've only done entitled parents so far. I still want to do, to be honest, at least 2 relationship stories. I think we'll do 2 relationship stories. That is my first drink done. About a litre. And we will move on quite promptly to the second. What are you apologizing for, Serenity Star? For the story? Oh, I see. For staying on the subject. No, it's fine. I want the longer this is, the better for me. No, I'm enjoying it. It's good. You have to think, I've been doing this for over 6 years now. This is the first time. So doing something new to me is a novelty. What a fucking stupid thing to say. Obviously, it is a novelty. That's what new means. Finding something new is pretty cool because I've read thousands of stories. So this is the first time that I'm reading a story to someone that wrote it. So it's pretty cool. I've never done that before. Let's continue. Right. Where were we? Okay. Fast forward. Oh, I need to keep being quiet. Sorry, I forgot. All right. Fast forward to after talking with my neuro this last time about the potential gene mess ups. I was immediately sent to the hospital to get labs done. And guys, oh my Lucifer, that commenter was right. I literally was born defective. That's really sad. You were born like that because of your parents, or at least your dad, doing drugs. That's so tough. Not only did the 3D meat printer skip some lines in my brain, that druggy dumb ass was so high on meth that my literal genes are screwed. I didn't even know what to say. I started bawling. Crazy. I mean, someone in the live stream has said, I can't believe this is your life. It's crazy to me that you're in the chat live now and I'm reading your story and this is what's going on, but unreal. Genuinely unreal. It was so bad that I was legit told that I was better off getting my tubes tied. I'm going to do that again, sorry. It was so bad that I was legit told that I was better off getting my tubes tied to keep from running the risk of having kids. Thankfully, my boyfriend and I agreed to not have kids to begin with, since with my epilepsy and his family history of it, we didn't want to risk passing it down. Not to mention autism being passed from the mother, and I, a very high functioning, non-verbal autistic, would more than likely pass it down to any child I had. But like, this kind of thing really screws with you mentally and emotionally. I can't begin to imagine. I had texted my friends over Facebook Messenger about it because I was so upset. One friend legit got so upset on my behalf. She knew my parents, including step female dog, and was so angry. She has 2 little girls of her own and told me she has no idea how she could survive, knowing that she could risk something like that to her kids. We ended up at a cafe in our town to catch up because I was really needing a matcha boba tea, and she wanted cupcakes, so it worked out. And guys, I nearly punched a woman in the face that day. Step female dog was in the cafe. What? This idiot ran up to our table, recognizing my friend, and the second she saw me, she tried to hug me. Hug me? I was having war flashbacks just seeing her. She kept talking, but I couldn't hear her. I just saw her mouth moving until my friend tried to push her away. Guys, I seized on the floor of the cafe. I was so stressed out by just the thought of this female dog that I collapsed. Oh my goodness. I had to go to the ER to make sure I didn't hit my head too hard. I got out that night and have been at my boyfriend's house since. Damn. I'm literally sobbing as I type this, absolutely terrified of leaving the house, knowing that she's in town. I don't know what to do, you guys. My boyfriend's been showering me in cuddles, snacks and matcha, Dr. Pepper, while my friends, including the one who was with me, are constantly checking in on me. And I appreciate it, but I already struggle with going outside as it's with severe agoraphobia, but now I'm so scared to be anywhere in this already godforsaken town. Sorry about this, guys. I just needed to vent. It's so scary for me, and I needed to get it out before I lost my freaking mind. I'm so grateful to Redditor. I think you've misspelled Redditor. Oh no, to be fair, you do say streams. I'm so grateful to the Click on YouTube, keeping me occupied with all his streams lately. They've been really helpful when I can't focus enough to work on my fan fiction or drawings. Well, hey, listen, this is my first stream I've done in a long time, and also this is obviously not about me at all, but that is the end of that story. Jesus Christ. And I don't say that name in vain, I really don't, but wow. Now, I feel bad even asking this, but Serenity, the person who wrote this once again, is watching this and listening to this live. I mean, you did ask me to read it, but like, knowing how much it, like, you know, knowing how bad it made you feel, like, well, not bad, but like the tears that you had, writing this, and then now you're going through this again, listening to me read it. I don't know if I'd have the strength to do that, to be honest. But if you've got anything else to say in the comments, go ahead. I'll just have a quick look through what the people are saying live in the chat, as you can see on my right here. But yeah, I don't even know what to say either. Debbie says, this is heartbreaking. Good grief. I agree. I'm at a loss for words. The only thing I can say is I'm really sorry that you had to go through all of that. That's about it. I can only really echo those thoughts. I mean, what else can you say? Yeah, what a life. What a life. To be fair, Serenity, you've done so well to like get through all of that, knowing that you are literally have like, yeah, like everything about you. Well, I mean, like you have different, like a different neurological setup because of your dad doing drugs. That's mental. There you go. There we go. A comment. It actually doesn't bother me. Okay, really interesting. I'm really happy to hear someone read it live. All we know is that most of the comments on that post were right. She wasn't in rehab anymore. Damn. I didn't actually think about that, but yeah. There we go. Isabel sums it up. I have no words. I am so sorry. Now, somebody said this on the comments on Reddit, which I really agree with. I hope the knowledge of your condition makes the path forward better for you, and I know that no matter what, you can and will find a way. What a nice thing to say. And I hope that is the case, Serenity. Like, now that you fully know the reason for all your difficulties that you've had and will continue to have, that you can deal with them better, or at least can understand them better, and that will help you in other ways. Doesn't really take away from the fact that your parents, well, your dad is just like, yeah, I mean, obviously you don't talk to him anymore, but Jesus, what a terrible bloke. But yeah, Ale Gratila says, Serenity, you are so brave. Don't ever doubt how brightly you shine. There we go. Yeah, good point, actually, from Gaia Bean. What a great boyfriend. What a great guy. Like, you're going through all of that and he's just by your side, backing you. Respect. It's day by day, Serenity says in the live chat, but we're getting there. Riding back on my boyfriend's bike has been helping a lot. Shout out the boyfriend once again. Again, I haven't released this episode yet at the time, like right now, live. But if you're watching this back, or if you're watching the video of this edited, or if you're watching the live stream back at a later date or whatever, today's video involves like a pretty terrible boyfriend. So when I'm comparing that person to obviously Serenity's boyfriend, yeah. I mean, George really sums it up there well. Jack, hope you get a boyfriend like Serenity. That's what I'm looking for, boys. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's end that entitled parents there. Crazy story. I am glad I read it though. I really am glad I read it. Thanks for suggesting it. I will also now stop with the ASMR stuff, although I feel like I kind of stopped that halfway through anyway. But there we go, man. Okay, now I will do. Oh, I'm burping so much. Anyone want to do some burps with me? Come on. Gaia is a great name, isn't it? I really like that name. Now I will do some relationship stories from best of Redditor updates. Let me try and find a suitable one. Now, I could have done this before, but I thought I'd do it live. It also means if any of you have anything, then chuck it in. This is a good one, actually. I kind of want to chill for a bit. Let's just take a few minutes to sort of like settle after that story. If you've got anything you want to like say, get it in the live chat. I think it's quite cool having this. Most of this here, but I think it's pretty cool having this live chat there. Can you see it well? Let me see on here. Like if I watch this, I don't actually want to really change this that much. Can I do this? No, but I think it's pretty cool. I had it before a different sort of way, but like I quite like the fact that it's not super opaque, like it is sort of blending. But there. Oh shit! You meant like biking bikes. For some, whenever I hear bike, I always think of like a pedal bike. Very cool. Oh, there are over 100 of you in the motorcycle. I know. I cycle all the time. So like on pedal bikes or like line bikes. I don't know if you know line bikes. You probably do. So that's what I was thinking of. I can see the live viewers in my thing here. Pretty cool. If you do me a favor, guys. If you haven't yet, drop a like on the stream, because that actually really helps, I believe. I don't know how many likes we have. Probably a number. Let me actually check. Let me just quickly check. It's not a kid's bike, George, you clown. It's just my bike, all right? Full-size adult bike. Oh, that's a bit loud. Right, we've got 48 likes on the stream. When we get to 100 likes, I will read the next story. There you go. So it's up to you. That's quite a big target, so we can kind of just chill out for a bit, I think. But I've got the next one lined out, ready to go. It's on r/best of. Yeah, they're called Lime bikes in the UK. They're in a lot of major cities. They're in America as well, because they were in Washington DC when I was there over Christmas. How long we got left? We got a long time left, party. And yeah, when we get to 100, I mean, I've been streaming for 110 minutes, and it really doesn't feel like that at all. Lime scooters. Now, Lime scooters, I hate. I think they're absolutely shit. But Lime bikes, I think, are amazing. Like I've said this multiple times. They are the greatest technological advancement since the iPhone. I actually mean that. There you go. There you go. Okay, maybe 100 likes was a little bit too aggressive. Let's do 60. When we get to 60 likes, I will read the next story. Jack, profanity. If we can't swear, you can't. If we can't swear, you can't. If it's different, I explained why earlier. Yes, best of Redditor updates is the next story. How do you feel about unicycles? I absolutely love them, bro. They're like elite. I can actually be quite far back here, can't I? Even like this, and it still sounds alright, I suppose. No, this is way better. Get on the mic, boy. See, if I was doing proper ASMR, I think I would do like this and like whisper. But do people like whispering, or that's a bit loud, isn't it? Or softly spoken? It's up to you if you're an ASMR. You see, some people don't like ASMR and they feel like uncomfortable. I really like it. I'm going to be honest. In real life, I swear, not loads, but I do swear quite often. I think swearing adds to like how do you it can add sort of passion. And like it's just like an adjective, which I think has a purpose in general language, genuinely. Which sounds a bit weird, but I do think sometimes, like, if you say that was fucking class, it sounds better than that was class. I did say earlier. No, you're right, George. But I think on live stream I can do it. But on video I just don't want to swear, because some people don't like swearing, and I don't want to alienate anybody. Also, I know that a lot of like parents watch my videos with their kids or whatever, and if you're swearing, you know, it is a good stress reliever. Exactly. A British accent swear. That's what it's all about, Debbie. That's what it's all about. It really is what it's all about. Let's just see how many likes this has got. If you haven't liked it yet, give the stream a like. Apparently it helps with like discoverability and stuff, so please give the stream. Oh, if we get 3 more likes, I will read the next story. We're on 57, So if 3 of you like it, then we can go and lock in. And what I would do 2 more stories. So we'll probably get to probably go for another 40 minutes or so, I reckon. Because then that would be almost 3 a.m. for me, which is rather late. But whatever. I've actually quite enjoyed this, so all good. All good. 59, 1 more. And then we begin. Go till 4? No. That's ridiculous. Tomorrow will just be ruined. Don't be stupid. Princess, it's stories to sleep to. Can't do it early, you know? Wouldn't make any sense. How do I get this chair to stop squeaking? Yeah, techie. I'll do one. I'll do it again. What's good is if I can record at the same time, which I am doing, then I can just turn it into an episode. So it's I'm not sacrificing normal recording time, if that makes sense. Is that I'm not doing loads and loads more. Because it sounds stupid, but it actually does take quite a bit of effort to properly read the stories and make sure they're all good, the right length, suitable for the channel. A lot of stories have loads of typos and stuff, and it's just very, very hard to read. You would have noticed I try and, when there are errors, I try and change them, but there you go, Erin, exactly. That is why. Yeah, my chair is look. I may need some WD-40 or something. I've had it for quite a while. Exactly. Reading a story from someone that's in the chat is pretty cool. Why don't I do a stream 2 times a week? I could definitely do it. I don't know. It does. I definitely could stream more. I mean, obviously I could stream more. I barely stream. I've done 2 in the history of this channel, I think. So I definitely could. Anyway, we have 60 likes. We do have 60 likes, and over 100 people are watching this. So I think I need to give the people what they want. That's a classic joke, oxycodone. It really is. Night party. You just chill out, man. You just chill out. Howling Eclipse. I feel like I've seen your username before. Maybe not. A long time ago. Years ago. Not sure. That username stands out to me. Have you commented before? Howling Eclipse. I can click on you and I can permanently ban you from this channel. That'd be interesting. What if I click on channel activity? That's chat messages in the last year. This is cool. Look. Wow. Anyway, I don't need that. I'm not actually going to ban you. Don't worry. I'm just chatting shit, bro. I'm just chatting, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's been in the stream, to be fair, mate. I've only done 10. Or 2, sorry. Okay, anyway. It's time to face the music. I'm the same as that, Serenity. I like listening to something. I don't know why. I think it just unless I'm super tired, I could just crash at any moment. I need to just chill out, or I just have loads of thoughts in my head, and then that just keeps me awake. Whereas if I'm listening to something else, that I don't really have those thoughts. They're all I don't know what it is. Maybe it's I don't know, whatever. But it helps to like listen to something else that's unrelated to what I want to think about, which is nice. Oh, you're all good, Howling. You're all good. This is the story. Let's get into it. Right. I'll do 2 more of these and then we'll be good. I think this is a pretty long one, to be fair. Let's go. Okay, so there we go. That is it for the entitled people and parents content of this episode. I did mention we're going to get in to some r/best of Redditor updates posts. This is the first one. And I just had a quick scan through it with the people that are watching live here, and it looks like it's going to be great. So if you're more a fan of relationship drama than entitled people and entitled parents, lock in. Here we go. How about this for a title? What do I say to I am a 45-year-old woman, boyfriend who is 44, who doesn't seem to realize he's just broken up with me? Pretty confusing title, but I think it will all become clear. Mood spoiler, do I click it? Sad, but OP is going to be okay. Okay, let's go for it. This was originally posted on February the 23rd, 2025, so only last month, but there is of course an update to come. I've been dating my boyfriend for about a year. When I met him, he had separated from his wife, and they were going through a divorce 8 months after separation. I don't usually date men who are only separated, but we just clicked. One thing I've asked from the beginning is whether or not he wants to have more kids, because I'm child-free for medical reasons. He's always said he wasn't bothered either way. The relationship with his children is very strained, and they don't like going to see him. Now the divorce is complete. I've warned him that he'll spiral, having had friends go through the same thing, which is usually why I don't date men in this period. He was adamant he was going to be fine. He isn't. He's totally spiraling. I've suggested that he go back to therapy, but he doesn't want to. I've said not to just have these thoughts and feelings swirling around in his head, and to talk if he needs to. He started talking to me about his feelings, and one of them is that he wants to have more kids. Now, he said this in a stream of consciousness in a voice note. I'm on the waiting list for a hysterectomy. He's still texting as normal. How do I confront this? He doesn't really have anyone else to talk to. However, our relationship is basically over in my head now. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I think let's just get into the comments here, because there's more from OP, I think, down below. Somebody said on the original post, it sounds to me like you just need to be upfront and honest. Tell him he wants more kids and you can't give that to him. You've broken up with him in your head. It's not him breaking up with you. OP said, thank you for replying. I think a conversation definitely needs to be had. Somebody else said, well, it actually sounds like you need to break up with him. It's a shame how men tend to end up lonely due to refusing to invest in a social support network. But alas, women can only do so much for men. Break up and let him rely on a therapist to handle this life crisis of his. OP said, I've been urging him to reach out to old friends, but he doesn't seem to have anyone to have these kinds of conversations with. Then a couple of words on the strained relationship with his kids and therapy. OP said to that comment, you're indeed wise. So the relationship with his kids seemed awesome when we met. Then as the divorce arrangements picked up steam, they started having a bit more attitude and asking questions about finances that I wouldn't expect from children. When I met him, he was in therapy, so I'm baffled as to why he's so against it now. It was actually one of the reasons I decided to see where this goes. We've had very frank discussions about the breakdown of his marriage, and he's accepted what he believes is his part, and being from the same place as his wife, I could see the things I would also find hard to deal with. Getting an outside view would be hard because his family are on his side. He's staying with his sister, and they've been arguing because when his kids are being rude, she's trying to correct them and he's asking her not to. Okay, interesting stuff. Somebody else said, since you've had friends go through divorce, you know that some of the things people say in this major transition are just thoughts. They're just words. It's really important, IMO, for people going through divorce to get therapy. You can't assume that he realizes the implications of his rantings. You can certainly point it out. If you want kids, that would mean we're incompatible. Not sure if you're just having thoughts or if you're expressing actual intentions. I think that's a very, very good point. Like, I don't think just because somebody says something in the heat of the moment or, spews a few words out when they're just kind of like, obviously in a bad place, but they're just expressing their thoughts in sort of like a word vomit sort of way, that first of all, we should take everything literally. Obviously, it's not a good thing to hear, but of course, I don't think you should just take it at face value 100%. And secondly, is he even going to remember that he said that? Like, he's saying so many things, so much is going through his mind right then and there. As I think this commenter said, and the ones before, like, he hasn't broken up with you. He's just said a few words that you obviously don't agree with. You need to have exactly that conversation. I'll highlight it on screen right here. Saying exactly this, I think, is a very, very good idea. If you want kids, that would mean we're incompatible. Not sure if you're just having thoughts or if you're expressing actual intentions. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Opie replied saying, "Thank you for reminding me of this. It's a lot harder to remember when you're directly involved. What I don't want is for him to say what he thinks I want to hear so that he still has me around." That also is a valid point. It is. Because when he's more calm, he might say, he might think more coherently. And I know I just said what I said, but also, maybe it's true that you don't say things when you're in a panic that you don't, that aren't at least a little bit truthful. I don't know. Like, if you're going through a divorce, your head's going to be messed up, and you might be thinking one day to the next completely differently. So I'm not sure about that, but yeah, just have your wits about you, I would say, OP. Somebody else said, "Could it have been a statement made in a spiral?" Exactly. That is it. Is it possible that the emotional complexities are deeper than a metaphorical shot across the bow? It seems like a simple conversation to reaffirm your choices is the next step. Perhaps he's truly interested in having more kids, in which case the relationship is done. I wouldn't call it a healthy process to check out without talking first, though. Yeah, to be honest, it's kind of weird that OP's like, he said one thing, I'm not going to say anything, but we're now broken up in my head. Like, if you don't say anything, then you're a coward. You can just like at least have a conversation. OP said, "I believe it was because I got another text this morning saying that he doesn't want to have any more now." Okay, so there you go. Somebody else said, "Does he realize that you actually don't want any kids?" I am assuming this because you didn't even mention it in your post. Because there are other options like adopting. Good point. Very, very good point. "Oh yes, though," says OP. "It's one of the first things I ask so as not to waste time, I assume, dating. With my medical conditions, I wouldn't adopt. It wouldn't be fair." Then she said to another commenter, "I have other health conditions and I don't think it's fair for children to have a parent who they'll end up having to look after. I was that child and that isn't a childhood." There we go. All right, so one longer comment. OP said, "Wow, you've written much more succinctly what I've been thinking. Honestly, up until yesterday, his values aligned with mine. We had very frank and open discussions about the breakdown of his marriage and how he contributed to that. He was in therapy. His visits with his kids were, from his description, great. He always puts them first and ensures he plans something they both enjoy, as they both enjoy different things. I've had some health issues and he's taken care of me, challenged me to get up and about again. He's also thoughtful. He's not perfect by any means, but I do enjoy his company. Sounds like he's a good guy. He just said something in the heat of the moment that maybe he doesn't even now stand by or doesn't even believe, doesn't feel. I don't think this is over by any means. As the divorce arrangements started to get hashed out, his children started asking questions that you wouldn't hear from a child. His ex asked him not to discuss anything with them, but the questions showed they were hearing something from somewhere. When the eldest said he was horrible for just walking out without saying goodbye, he corrected her and said it didn't happen that way. obviously they went back and asked their mum because she ripped into him and then didn't let him see them for 3 weeks. Then their attitudes started changing. Now, I'm well aware I'm only hearing one side, but the difference between the visits even up to 6 months ago and now are very stark. There we go. That is it for the original post. Let's see what the people of YouTube are saying live before we get into this update posted a couple of weeks later. Oh, now I need to just take a few seconds. Come on then, people. Get your thoughts in. Get your thoughts in. Get your thoughts in. It's not private, by the way. Redditor Gaming. I don't think it's private. Is it? No, it shouldn't be. Mate, I would actually do it. Redditor Gaming, I'm sure, isn't private. Oh, there's actually a comment on my look. What the fuck? Is that you? That's mad. Let me try and find it. Is it private? No, it's called Redditor Plays, bro. It's not called Redditor Gaming. Redditor Plays. And I'm sure it's not private. Yeah, it's there. 4 years ago. Damn. The reason is I just don't game. There are no games. Like, this could easily come back. I just didn't have any games. Anyway, let's get back to the story. What do you guys think? Because I want to hear your thoughts before we get into the update. Okay, somebody said, I think it might be the late night brain autopilot kicking in. And I will say I am live at 2:10 a.m. in the UK here. So, I mean, I'm catering for everyone here. This really is a live sleep stream. But I'm speechless once again. If you want kids and the other person doesn't, usually not compatible. I agree with that. I really do. And interestingly, I'm going to mention my uncle here because I think a similar thing happened with him. His ex, my aunt, or my ex-aunt, I suppose, what do you even call her? I don't know. They were together for a long time. They broke up. And she didn't want kids. And I think he did want kids, but I think he was sort of like, I'm speaking for him here and I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure he probably in his heart of heart wanted kids, but was happy enough, I suppose, or content to be like, okay, well, my wife doesn't want kids, so we're not going to have kids. That's fine. Like, I like her enough, love her enough to not keep pressing about having kids or whatever. And I don't know this for sure. I'm just guessing. However, they broke up, and very quickly he met someone else who was my new aunt. She's great, and they have twins. So, you know, what does that say about the beauty of life? I have no idea. But they're old now. They're actually even older than me. They're not. They're actually, I have no idea how old they are. I think they're 12, 11 or 12. And they're American. Crazy. I was visiting them over Christmas. That's part of the reason why I was in America. And I'm going to visit them in Canada this summer, where they live now. Pretty cool. But yeah. Let's get back into it. All right, Felix in chat has said, I personally think that she should talk to him more about her values when it comes to children, and that she shouldn't just keep all her feelings built up. Yeah, I agree, Felix. I think it was actually kind of ridiculous what OP was saying like saying, oh, you said one thing that I don't like. Okay, well, sorry, not that I don't like, but you know what I mean. It's like one sentence. Oh, in my head now, we're broken up. The girls act that way? Maybe they do. I don't think guys act that way. I think it's a bit weird. But anyway, Gaia Bean, is OP willing to parent his old children from a previous relationships? Good question. We've seen that, I mean, that's clearly a very fractious relationship there, in part, of course, due to his ex. It's tough to know. It's tough to know. And actually, just looking at the update here, I think we're going to get an answer to that very quickly. And yeah, finally, Howling Eclipse has said, I've seen people who sacrifice the want or not want for kids. I've seen it build up resentment and unhappiness. And yeah, and I'm not sure with my uncle, like, I've not actually spoken to him about that ever, but maybe he was unhappy, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I don't know how big a thing kids was for him. But he has two now. So good for him, I say, and good for them. And look, Tristan down there has said, first Redditor stream, glad I caught this. If you want to catch the next one, subscribe with notifications on, because I don't think I'm ever going to have a live, I'm going to have a live stream schedule. I'm not that sort of person. I'm just going to do it randomly off the cuff. Like today. I have actually been wanting to do this for a very, very long time. I just haven't ever mentioned it in episodes because I wasn't sure when I could commit to doing it. But we're live right now. And let's get into the update live. Thanks for the answers. I replied to as many as I could, but eventually it got a bit repetitive. All right, fair enough. To those who never saw my replies and have the same questions. Pardon me. His kids were happy to see him when we met, but as the divorce became more acrimonious, they started to say things that, in my mind, children wouldn't typically say. If he had said anything about his children not wanting to see him when we first started dating, that would have been a red flag for me. Okay, so I guess OP is implying that his ex was putting stuff in their kids' minds. Helping a friend through a divorce and listening to them go through various ideas is very different to the person you see doing it, especially when they're talking about things that means the end of the relationship. Anyway, on to the update. We met up and I asked him if he was aware that he said he thinks he wants to have more kids. He said, yeah, it's a possibility. I said, you're aware that I'm on the waiting list for a hysterectomy, right? He said, yes. I said, so you're aware that this essentially means we're over? He said, it doesn't have to mean that. We can continue to see each other until I make up my mind. Whoa, that's a crazy thing to say. People, I nearly fell off my chair. I stared at him and I realized that he actually never knew me at all. Anyone who knows me knows I would never put up with this foolishness. I did not expect him to say that. I actually laughed and I said, you want me to continue to see you while you decide whether or not you want kids? And then if you do, I should just meekly walk away? Does that sound like that's fair? He said no, but he loves being with me and doesn't want to lose me. I told him I was lost the minute he told me he might want more kids. I said I appreciate him telling me the truth, but the consequence of that means we're over. I told him what I'd have told a friend. Sort out your relationship with the children you have before making new ones. And I gave him a book on that subject. That's the ultimate disrespect. It's funny, but kind of sad. I left and I cried. I'm going to miss him a lot. He's been texting, but I may block him soon. Dang. That's tough. I kind of feel a little bit conned by the mood spoiler. Like, did the mood spoiler not say sad, but OP will be okay? I thought they'd stay together. Like after the original post, I was thinking, well, they'll be fine. They'll stay together. Just have to work a few things out, and that's OP being okay. But actually, no, doesn't really sound okay, does it? Yeah, I agree. guy had been. I'm glad she was able to stand up for herself, but I was expecting the solution, the conclusion there to be a little bit more positive for OP, rather than this guy was also just secretly an idiot. What is it with all these people that are just like dumb? And why are they so good at hiding their true selves? I don't get it. I would like to think that I could see through someone like this and be like, quite early on, like clock that they do actually want kids. And they're just lying to themselves and to me. Obviously, I have no idea if that's true or not, if I could do that, but I agree. Like, pretty sad ending, says Winsler. Yeah, 100%. 100%. What book did she get him, do you reckon? I have no idea. But clearly, she already had it, right? To just be able to give him the book. Unless she just ordered it and then was like, nah, take this, take your book and F off, bro. But yeah. Maybe you're right, Matty. People overestimate average IQ. I don't really think it's IQ. It's more just like social understanding and picking up on what should be pretty obvious cues. Obviously, it's different when you're in a relationship and you're in love and you just miss these things. I know. Or you only see how obvious it is after the fact. I get that. I don't know. Felix says, I'm glad that she was able to stand up for herself. It's not the outcome I was expecting, but I hope that she's all right. And I think that is the conclusion of this one. Like, that's all you can really take from it. Yeah, I agree, Felix. You make a good point. All right. I reckon we've got time for one more relationship story before we end this stream. There we go. Ooh, one more. Uno más. Let me find an absolute crackerjack, boys and girls. Crackerjack, that's so cringe. Fuck me. What a thing to say. Howling Eclipse. I don't want to do this to you, but I'm going to. I'm just gonna write that, okay? I didn't want to do that. I'm serious. I didn't want to do that. But I felt like I had to. Where's my dashboard? Where is my dashboard of my... Oh, here it is. Boo, stop being rude. Shut up, man. You know what's crazy? The longer we stream, the more views we get. Maybe just keep streaming forever, and I'll eventually get to 1 million. I don't really mind about viewers, but it's nice to have a good group of people here. No one ever corrected me. Queue is like, if you're in the queue, a queue with a C is like a queue point, or when you say that was your cue to do something. It's like that. Or in snooker or pool, it is what you use to hit the balls with. No, not the balls of your opponent, the balls on the table. There's a very, very clear difference there. Okay. Howling Eclipse, that's funny. That's made me lol. So well done. All right, one more. I'll just find it quickly. You guys just chat amongst yourselves, You just keep yourselves entertained. That could be interesting. Oh my fucking God, that is class. Well, it's not class, but as a title. All right, I think we'll end with this. See, like Marvel Rivals, like that's just not me, bro. Like, it just sounds fucking terrible. Sorry. I know a lot of people like that. But I don't like superheroes movies. I've never seen any Marvel films, like, ever. So, yeah. Yeah, it'll be a good... I'm not into any games, that's the thing. And I'm not... I don't think I've ever been, like, a gamer. But I have played a lot of games at points in my life. Like, Lockdown, for example. I played... a lot of Warzone with the lads. I got pretty good. I used to play CSGO and I got decent at that. Well, not actually, I wasn't that good at that. I think I was like, what's the one above Gold Elite? Is that Gold Elite even a thing? Or was that Silver Elite? I think I was Gold Nova. What was above Gold Nova? CSGO ranks. I think I got to... Actually, I think the maximum I got to was Master Guardian 2. Not really that good, is it? A movie stream. I suppose this is sort of a movie stream. This is what I'm trying. But yes, I could. Because I know that when I do the movies, it's like... You let me know in the comments. Obviously, you are like the core audience because you're watching this. But what do you think about the movies in general? Because obviously I reuse stories. But it's sort of a way to get stories that people might not have listened to yet into longer episodes that people will listen to, because the longer episodes are the most popular. Been watching since lockdown. My brother. We love Baldur's Gate. I don't know Baldur's Gate. I don't know it. It is 2:30 in the morning. Yes, I'm quite tired, but we're going to do one more story. And then we would have been live for almost 3 hours. The question was... What was the question? I don't remember. I don't remember. Does anyone know what the question was? Oh yeah, the long episodes, yes. Long episodes are awesome. Need them for falling asleep. Well, hopefully this is going to be one like that. Longer YouTube videos are quite handy if I'm working at a job. I don't watch the long ones as often when I'm home, since I'm often doing other things. Yeah, I know, like a lot of, I've always been like happy with that. I know that people don't like actively watch or actively listen. They kind of have it on in the background, which is great. It's absolutely great. I hope people keep doing that forever. What's up, bro? There we go. Exactly. Brian, helping him get through his shift. That's class. That's class. I always like listen to podcasts and stuff, which I don't listen to like live stuff ever, really. Small podcasts and like YouTube podcasts when I go on runs and stuff like that. So if I liked Reddit stories, I mean, I wouldn't listen to Reddit stories because I read them anyway, but like if that was my thing, I would do that. So I get it. Because also like you can't really put on like a 15-minute video and forget about it. That's why people, I think, like the long ones. Yeah, exactly, Matty. A little bit. I've definitely got a lot better. Like, it sounds stupid because it's just reading, but like I've definitely got a lot better at reading and not making as many mistakes. And a lot of the times, like I will have to change stuff on the fly when I'll notice the words are wrong and stuff. And it sounds pretty like easy when you're like, well, the words are wrong, the grammar's wrong, I'll just change it. But when you're focused on your like intonation and how you're saying the words, and then like the words are wrong, or there's like a typo or misspelling or something, it is slightly harder to do that, but I've got better at that. You could watch anything and talk about anything. I only listen at night since your voice puts me to sleep, which is a huge compliment. You know, I didn't used to think that was a compliment. I was like, I remember I tried to make my voice more like excited and like animated, and I used to like not love the fact that people didn't like actively watch my videos and like really interested in everything I was saying. But now I actually really appreciate that. And I think it's actually like a bit of a privilege that people want to have me on in the background when they're doing stuff for a long period of time. And I mean, it's a very nice thing that people say they like my voice. I mean, I've trained it for years. I really have. But that's a nice thing to say. Because for me, like I would not just put any odd random thing on in the background for like 3 hours or something. I would be like, okay, I need this to be solid and I need to know what I'm getting. Like I'm not putting a random video on for 3 hours. It's never happening. So it's a big compliment and I appreciate it. Trying to read out loud in an engaging way and copy edit people's posts on the fly. Yeah, exactly. That is what it is. I mean, obviously I make mistakes. You've seen I've made loads of mistakes in this, and then they just get edited out. But yeah, it's good fun, and it definitely is a skill. It's just a weird skill. Cozy professional. That is class. From Word Nerd. I will take that. What a nice group of words to put together. What a nice pairing. Cozy professional. What is curb appeal? I've never heard of curb appeal. You have to let me know what that is. Yeah, that's perfect. Like listening when writing or drawing is perfect. That is pretty much exactly what I want to go for. I think there is a big difference between like actively listening and watching something, which not a lot of people do for that long anymore. Like how many videos or how many creators do you know where you like they'll post a video and you will sit there and watch it every time, no matter what they post? Like it's not that many people, right? A lot of the time you're sort of like secondarily watching something or listening to something. You might like be on your phone a bit or doing something else in the meantime. When I say that's class means like class A, I suppose. Very good is what it means. Yeah, what is curb appeal? Tell me. Yeah, exactly. Curb appeal is like what makes you pull over and look at the for sale sign on a house. So you're saying that my videos and voice makes you pull over and look at the for sale sign on a house. Maybe that is a sign for me to get into real estate. I haven't thought about that. But I'm actually trying to buy a flat at the moment. So there we go. Like a hook/attention grabber. Make a good first impression. Oh, I see. I see what you mean. I'm a good house, yes. George, you have my humour, by the way. I think IRL we're pretty similar in terms of humour. Thank you, Howling Eclipse. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's better with a human doing the stories. I don't know what's going to happen with AI, and I like AI. I think it's interesting, but we'll see. We'll see. It's getting good. It's getting really good. Yeah, you should take it as a compliment because I'd be weird if I was saying I didn't like my humor. However, me saying that I like your humor doesn't mean that it's good humor just because I say I like it. You know, in fact, it may well mean the opposite. Okay, good chat, guys. But we're going to get into the final story because I actually need to go to bed. And I've been live for over 2.5 hours. I did in an ideal world want to be live for about 3 hours. But I don't think a lot of this is going to be usable. Like all of this chat is not going in the video because it's not really like relevant. But it's good for this. It's good for this. And it's just a bit of banter. Right. Oh, here we go. Look at this for a title. Look at that for a title. Here we go then. How about this for a title? My boyfriend said I am the, quote, prettiest when I shut up in front of his friends. Goodness me. This was originally posted to r/am I overreacting on March the 9th, 2025. Damn. I mean, that's some title. Right. Now, I just want to see how this boyfriend is going to get out of this one, because if that was me and I said that, I'm done. Relationship is over. I know that for a fact. My boyfriend, who is 25, and I, a 25... My boyfriend, who is 25, and I, a 22-year-old woman, were invited to a birthday party of his friend. The people at this event were all close friends of his from his contract job, and I barely know these people. Everything was going fine, and my boyfriend was clearly having a great time. But at some point, I was telling a story from my school days when my boyfriend interrupted and said, "You know, OP is prettiest when she shuts up." Everyone laughed, and my boyfriend just kept going, saying, "You guys don't know what I go through. She never stops talking. I swear to God, sometimes I tune her out for my own sanity," or something along those lines. Somehow we've saved the worst sentence for the end of the stream. I really thought that, like, she may have caught him saying it to his friends and he was saying it behind her back as a joke without her knowing, and that was going to be awful. But she has been saying something in a group of people and he has interrupted that sentence to say this in front of her and humiliate her. That's awful. I'm usually really introverted, continues OP, but when I warm up to someone, I'm the type to talk a lot. So when he said these words, I felt so embarrassed and humiliated, especially since he said it so casually in front of people I don't even know. Damn. I tried to brush it off, but I got quiet after that. Later, after the party was over, I told him how hurtful his comment was. He rolled his eyes and said I was being too sensitive and that it was just a joke and I was making a big deal out of nothing. He said I embarrassed him by acting cold for the rest of the night and that I should learn to take a joke. He also told me if I couldn't learn to lighten up, maybe I shouldn't come to events with his friends anymore, even though he was the one who asked me to come in the first place. I feel so awful and confused. Am I in the wrong for getting upset and killing the vibe? No, obviously you're not. I mean, what the heck? Even if you were in a group of people with your girlfriend who, like, she was best friends with and you were best friends with, like, even then I would be a little bit cautious about making that joke. It probably would be quite funny. I mean, it depends on the humor between you two and your group of friends in general, but like, I would be very reticent to even try and make a joke like that, even if she really was going on and on and on. Like, that wasn't, the tone of that was awful. But it's in front of like a new group of people, and I'm sure he knows that you are introverted and yeah, like, find it difficult to chat to new people, but then you warm up to them and you're having a great time and you speak a lot. Yeah, he's done that. He knows how that's going to affect you. And then he's not even apologized for it. And he's saying, actually, no, you ruined my night and you should take a joke. Absolutely crazy. I think, yeah, up here, it's just gone off the screen. I'll just get back to it. But this right here from Ali, gaslighter. Exactly that. Exactly that. It's a terrible thing. Matty says, on one hand, that was awful of him to say, but on the other hand, I aspire to be attractive enough to be told to just sit there and look pretty. Yes, not really the point at all, but I get what you mean. There we go. She's not overacting at all. He is terrible. I completely agree. He invited her out to impress his friends by being awful to her. Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe he knew that he was just going to belittle her and make her the brunt of his jokes to his friends. It does kind of sound like that. Also, why are they laughing? Maybe they're laughing awkwardly, but they shouldn't be laughing at all. It's crazy. Howling Eclipse says, it's heartbreaking, this stuff. I never understand how someone can be in a relationship, say they love someone and care, but then treat their partners so badly or cheat. I just don't get it. I just don't get it as well. Let's see what the people of Reddit were saying to this, because you can see from the live chat right here. I mean, the people listening to this live are not happy. Shame on him. He put her down. This chips away at confidence, even if he is the douche nozzle. Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. Georgia said, I feel like this is the situation we have here, though, in the live stream. We get to sit here and look pretty while Jack gets to bust his balls and read Reddit. I don't know about that. How can a person be like this in the first place? I don't know. Friends matter when dating. If you can't get along with friends, it's over, at least for my standards. I do partly agree with that for sure. I think your friends and how they get on with your girlfriend and vice versa is very, very important. Dump him. Maybe that's the answer. Okay, good stuff, guys. Very good from you. Very good. You see that? I was gonna go straight back to Reddit there, but I had to keep reading your comments because they were good. Now I will go back because we must move on. All right. How many comments are there? Okay. Anyway, let's have a look at some comments on Reddit. Someone said, you're not overreacting. Your boyfriend straight up doesn't like you. If he feels so emboldened to insult you in front of his friends, this behavior will only get worse. He sounds like an idiot, somebody said, and so do his friends. Interestingly, as I was reading that, as you can see on screen, Techie Harkfuck has said, I have this feeling that this guy didn't really love his girlfriend to begin with, considering he said that wild sentence so casually. Exactly the same point, and I completely agree. But I know it's crazy. Like I agree. Like you can't say that you love someone. You can't love someone. Ugh. Let me do that again because I made up. Oh, you just cannot say that you're in love with some. You just cannot say that you love someone or you're in love with someone or you really care about someone and then say something like that. I don't think. Anyway, let's get into the update. This was posted March the 11th, 2025. I broke up with him. We'd been dating for 2 years and it was the first time he'd acted that way. So I was genuinely conflicted and I wasn't sure if the joke really flew over my head. Joke in quotes there, of course, as obviously it's not a joke. But I decided to leave. It takes me a lot of effort to come out of my shell and I feel uncomfortable to stay with someone who doesn't like that. My self-esteem is usually really low, but this time I spoke up for myself once in a long time. We broke up over text. It sucked since he kept bringing up all his contract job friends over me again and again. These are people he acquainted with less than 7 months ago, so that alone tells me some things. I guess I won't be missing anything since he ended our text with, bye, I don't give a flip. Very mature. How old are these people again, sorry? Were they 22 and 25? Imagine being 25 and texting bye IDGAF. What a loser, man. I think you've made the right decision here. I mean, that's obviously clear. Thank you for all the sweet comments. At the time I wrote the post, I was feeling down and I cried a lot. I'm a bit sensitive, so I actually teared up reading some comments. Thanks again. I hope everyone has a nice day. Let's get into some final comments here. Proud of you, girl. Go and get yourself some food and flowers. Enjoy a movie. Self-care and happiness is best. I completely agree. I foresee him begging you for forgiveness in the near future when he realizes his work friends don't really give a frick about him long term. I agree with that as well. There we go. That is it for this story. Let's round off this episode. This, I suppose, movie you can call it. This extended live stream, which if you are watching this live, you will know, or if you're watching this back live, I've been live now for over 2 hours and 40 minutes. So if you're not here right now, you're missing out. Subscribe to catch the next one. It's been a journey. But anyway, let's round things off by seeing what the live chat has to say. Bro is acting like a child, even though he's a grown man. He deserved that. D-head personified. You're right, Winslet. You're right. Word Nerd said, learning that it's okay to leave a bad situation at 22 is going to save her a lot of trouble in life. That's a great point, actually. Like, there wasn't really any messing about there. The first 5 words of the update were, I broke up with him. Like, it's obvious to us that that's the right decision, but it's hard when you're in that situation. So the original post there was March the 9th, 2025. So it didn't take her long to read through the comments, in which obviously everyone was like, this guy's an idiot. 2 days later, it's done. 2 years of dating, done. There we go. I'd be so petty about it. I'm dumping you over text since you hate the sound of my voice so much. That's clever, Matty. That really is clever. That really is. She's too young to settle down anyway. Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Like, if you find the right person, I don't think the age really matters. But yeah, I think she's definitely too young. Well, she'd never be the right age to settle down with someone like this. That's for sure. Cheers to being brave, Serenity, who did that awesome story earlier in the stream. And everyone's being so nice in the live stream. Look, thank you so much for the live stream. Most interesting stream I've seen in a bit, given that I got called out. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, there we go. I bet the only reason the dude even dated OP to begin with was likely because of some sort of social boost. It does sound like that, which is a real shame. But yeah, I'm gonna take note of this final comment here from Howling Eclipse. Can I pin this comment? Is that how it works? I can. Look at that. Message pinned. You can kind of see it. What I will do, just to make it clear, and I'll do this live. I'm doing this live at the end of the stream, so oh, it's gone anyway. Oh no, it's there. Right. This is so B-Tech, I don't even care. Let's move this down like this. There we go. Unbelievable. And look, this is the life of a streamer. This is how you know it's live. There we go. Wow, look at that. You got to take care of yourself, Redditor. Thankfully, finally, someone is looking out for me. Get some sleep. Thank you for the content. That's going to do it for this one. First of all, to all of you guys watching live, and thank you to so many of you for actually showing up, because I did not say I was going to do this anywhere. And hundreds of you have come and watched this, so appreciate it, and left all the likes and everything. Thank you. I will do this again because I've really enjoyed it. Secondly, to all of you who have watched this live stream back, thank you for listening to it. Thirdly, to all of you who have watched this normal video, one last time, in case you didn't realize, I recorded this live and this has now become a video. So if you do want to watch this content in the future, live, subscribe, turn notifications on. And yeah, that is going to do it for this episode. If you want more sleep content right away, check it out on screen here. Another entire sleep movie. Subscribe to the channel and I will catch you on the next one. And there we go. Done. That is the end of the video. I just wanted to do that little thing. And now what I will do is immediately I will upload it. I wonder how big that file is going to be. I will upload it to my editor, Stevo. And he will edit that into the video, which I think will be up on the weekend, I hope. So if you've been watching this live, it'd probably be quite cool actually to see it back, to watch it back. I don't know how long it'll be. I feel like it'll be roughly like an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops when it's edited. But yeah, rewatch it and you'll see that all this is not in it. But I think it'd be quite cool. Redditor sleep movie. 44 gigabytes. Fuck me, boys. That might be the biggest thing I've ever sent. And I've sent a lot of dick pics in my life. It's that time of the stream, guys. It really is. And the great thing about this is my granny watches a lot of this content. So if you listen to that, granny, respect. Hope the puzzle's going well. I got her a puzzle for her birthday. She said it's very hard. I thought it was going to be easy. Apparently it's not easy. Hey, yo, what? Who expected that? Not me. Oh my god. Actually, you know what? I've actually forgotten. I've got a video to post myself. I'll stay live. I'll stay live now. Oops. I'll stay live until I post this video. Because I might as well. I'll just chill. Just chill out. Oh my god, I dropped frames for the first time. What the flip? What the flip? Are we back? I don't know. Did it start lagging? Why is it lagging? It shouldn't lag. I've just got a red thing. Lagging. Still lagging? Now some buffering. It might be because, oh, it's probably because I'm uploading that massive fucking file. It might be because of Discord. Let me delete Discord and see. Okay, I think it's because I'm uploading. All right. Okay. I will stop this. Okay. Right. I've stopped uploading. Is it still going dodgy? I think we might be back now. Are we back? Better. Yeah. I probably should have realized that trying to upload a 44 gigabyte file at the same time as streaming wasn't the best idea. That was pretty dumb. So instead of doing that, I will instead do what I wanted to do in the first place, which is publish this video, which I will do live. I won't show it though. But what I'll do is I'll just make a quick thumbnail. Title of this one is going to be something like "Tonight I broke up with." Let me see this. So it's going to be like, "Tonight I broke up with my boyfriend because he kept joking about murdering me." That really is the title. This is going to be the title. I'll put it here. It shouldn't be lagging now, right? It wasn't because of Discord. I forgot that obviously I'm just uploading a video. It's pretty stupid. Sorry, a 44 gigabyte file. Obviously it's not going to work. That's the title. Pretty crazy. Now I've just got to think about a thumbnail. Well, first of all, let me put loads of ads on it. Good, they're already on. Just put 1,000 ads on that real quick. Hope that's all right with you guys. And what should we do for a thumbnail? What, have you got any suggestions? The title is in the... I'll pin the title. What do you think? What do you think? Get your comments in down below. ¿Qué piensas? ¿Qué piensas? It's pretty weird title. I know. Can I say what word? Ah. I think you can say murdering. Yeah. It's a good point though. I'm pretty sure there are crime channels that say murdering. Let me just look that up. Yeah, murder is fine. I think killing is, I think killing is one that you can't do quite a lot. Put P. Diddy in the thumbnail. I mean, there are better ideas, aren't there? Fucking P. Diddy, that clan. An absolute clown P. Dids. He is an absolute mug, mate. An absolute mug. An absolute mug. Jack holding a knife. Oh no, this isn't a thumbnail for the video I've just done. This is for a new video. Sorry, I should have made that clear. It's a story I read earlier today, which is now ready to go live on the channel, and I'll post it live and then I'll end the stream. I'm just trying to multitask, which I find very challenging at the best of times. So the title of the video is going to be "Tonight I broke up with my boyfriend because he kept joking about murdering me," and in it talks about like dismembering her. So I'm gonna just try and find like a picture of a weird looking guy, or like maybe like an abusive boyfriend. I can try and find that. That's a bit disgusting. I just want like someone looks like a psycho. I'm looking at like a stock website, Adobe stock images for this. Hi again. Women slamming a door on an idiot's face, no weapons. Yeah, YouTube is super sensitive, but it's all right. Like when I first started, all my videos had limited ads. Why is that? Why is it so white? Oh, it's not white, it's just my door. How stupid am I? I was like, why is the chat so white? And I realized most of the fact is my door behind it. I will unpin this. Maybe that will change it as well. What a clown. Let me find angry man. I think it's just a stock angry man pic. Probably would do all right. Yeah, this would do. Sue, somebody said. Not quite sure why. Yeah, you probably did miss some of the stream. I was live for a long time, and also the stream is still going. Oh, Matty, have you already watched the video? It's pretty crazy if you have, bro. Pretty crazy. Reddit stories. I love Reddit stories, me. Right, let's do this. Do people do this where they'll just like make a thumbnail live? I suppose they could. The only thing is, I can't really be bothered to show my screen. I'd rather just show the chat. It's more interesting. People seeing what people are saying. Oh, you saw it earlier. Yeah, I thought it was good. Well, you know when you read stories on Reddit and then I read the same ones? Do you just like, oh, I already know what happens, or is it still interesting? I would think, well, I already know what happens, so I'm not going to watch this one. But maybe some people are like, well, I want to see how I react to it. Don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Right, I'm going to do a very basic thumbnail. Not that I'm that good at thumbnails anyway, let's be honest. I do my own thumbnails, by the way. I didn't used to do them, but it just got easier to do them myself. Because even though I'm not that skilled, if you keep asking like a graphic designer for changes and stuff, often it's just a bit, it's unfair on them. And then it just takes longer. Usually stick to YouTube for checking out Reddit stories. I don't use Reddit that much. Yeah, I get that. I think I'm pretty much the same as that, to be honest. I used to go on Reddit a lot more, and now I kind of only... Actually, that's not true. I still go on it loads. I do go on it a lot. Not really for like Reddit stories though, but like I use it all the time. If I've got any sort of query about anything, I will go on it. Because I think you just get such a more like legit answer from real people than compared to going on like a website or like some like shitty like article that's just trying to get clicks, and it takes ages to actually get to the point. Same with YouTube as well. If you've got a question, like I used to use YouTube all the time, now a lot of the time it takes ages for me to actually get an answer. Like it's an 8-minute video for like a 10-second answer. And you're like, I didn't need to watch all of that, bro. Did I? But apart from that, YouTube's great. It's just great, mate. Right, that thumbnail is done. I think that looks good. I'll give it a little sneak peek. Is this going to work if I do this? Ooh, how cool does that look? Pretty sexy, baby. Can't really see that much of it, but maybe that's the point. And you'll never guess what's on the other half. I mean, you'll never guess. Who wants to see? Wow. How amazing is that? Pretty boring thumbnail, but I feel like I'm getting quite delirious here, which isn't ideal. Now, I just want to add a little bit of saturation. Let's just do a little bit of saturation here. Perfect. Let's do 25. That will do. And then I need to save it. And then we're good to go. Okay. I will export that real quick. These clicks are probably super loud, aren't they? Because my mic is turned up so high. Then I will go onto my channel, which by the way is Redditor, if you didn't know that. The Redditor logo deals with a crazy man. I know. So crazy. And I will upload the thumbnail. Wow, we are actually over 3 hours live now and I haven't moved. It's got to be pretty bad for you, doesn't it? Like it has to be. But time does go very quickly. Anyway, that video is now public. I will pin it there. Ten out of 10, not too bad. What do you mean? I don't know. But there we go. Video's live. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Seriously. If you've been there for 10 minutes or the whole time, respect. It's been great. I will definitely do this again at some point in the future. And now, finally, I'm going to end the stream. Good night all. I wish you well. And I hope that you finally go to sleep.